After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
As we get closer to the ever-looming playoffs, we take the Outlaws Sim Series field to a wild short track. Tonight, the Outlaws Sim Series heads to Arizona, to the jewel in the desert here in Avondale. Good evening all, and welcome to the virtual Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona. Devin Zimmerman is alongside for Vikal this evening, and Devin, we have a flat and wide and very fast 1 mile short track that, by the looks of it, could potentially see nightfall tonight, Devin. If you're a driver, what can you do to get ahead of these potentially tricky and ever-changing driving conditions?
Yeah, Emerson, with this racetrack here at the Jewel in the Desert in Phoenix, you definitely want to stay on top of the tire life and on top of any changes that need to be made on pit stops to prolong that tire life. You got to keep the tires under you. You're going to see some drivers using that dog leg. It is an open dog leg right there, right past the start-finish line. So you can take that going into turn one, which is very long and very banked.
Yeah, absolutely. That dog leg can actually cause her some trouble, Devin, because let's go ahead and take a look at the track map tonight, right? This is honestly one of the wildest concepts you can think about. We've moved the start-finish line. That's not all that wild. It's the fact that we moved it to just out of corner exit out of what used to be turn 2 and beginning of the back straightaway. And you restart these boys going into the dog leg. So you are all but forcing these drivers to go 4, 5, 6 wide as they all try to funnel down in the tight turn 1. Then pit lane here is weird because of the move at the start finish line. You have to pit off of turn 2 and go down the very long pit lane. And although they have made this pit lane in terms of how it wraps around the corner at 1 and 2 much more inward at what is now turns 3 and 4, what used to be turns 1 and 2, they've made the pit lane much more inward. It's still a very long pit lane, and pit exit, you're almost backing down to turn 1, so you almost make an entire lap just traveling down pit lane.
Yeah, Emerson, and that was what I was going to bring up, is nailing those entries into the pit lane. You can make up a lot of time if you nail that entry correct coming off of turn 2 there. It actually goes a little bit deeper than you would realize, so you can make up a lot of time. And then, of course, as soon as you come off pit road, you want to stay pretty low, actually, and then get that run in through turn 1, and then you can kind of let it slide up to the wall out of 2. So making time on pit road is going to be good if we pit here under caution. There do tend to be an outbreak of cautions. If you pit under green, but there does tend to be a outbreak of cautions here at Phoenix from time to time. It just depends. We get some side-by-side racing. You might see some guys lose it in that dog leg. That transition can be rough, especially on old tires. And then when they come back up the track, if they're just not having a good spotter on board tonight, then they can end up washing up into a guy right up on top of them. Because that closing distance, if you stay up on the actual track surface, can be very great indeed.
Absolutely, and what's also very great, Devin, is the point standings coming into tonight. In the battle that we have on our hands. Now, I'm looking at this. Okay, we do have Seth Berger on the charts. I was going to say, for a while, we have not seen a time posted by Seth Berger. But, Devin, with the rule that you have to make 20 regular season starts to be eligible for Outlaws Sim Series competition, the drivers that are currently in the top 15 in points, plus Devin Smith in 17th, are all due to lock in. Now, there's a qualification that you have to, if you're Devin Smith, Scott Bailey, and Jonathan Jennings, you have to race tonight or one of the other 3 races after tonight, but before the playoffs start. Andrew St. Cyr must make 2 starts between tonight and when the playoffs start. Now, I will say, I believe all 4 of these drivers are here tonight. I'm actually looking for Scott Bailey at this moment. Yes, Scott Bailey is here. Devin Smith is here. Jonathan Jennings is here. And Andrew St. Cyr is here. So, all of these drivers, those 4 drivers, only Andrew St. Cyr will have to make 1 more start and he'll lock into the playoff 7. So, what that means is we're now really fighting for playoff seeding. And we talk about playoff seeding with right at the top of the point standing 7. 4 points separates Max and Seth. And it just gets ever tight though as we get towards the back end of the playoff field.
Yeah, and you really have to look at there you go, who's in and who's not. Again, Devin Smith will lock in after tonight that he's in the field, and he being into the playoffs, but being that final seed, you don't want to stay there. You can make up some spots. Matt Rogers in front of you, Brad Waffwell and Andrew St. Cour in front of them. Once you start getting up to Derek McMurtry, Doug Solms, and Adam Gardner, it kind of gets a little murky if you can make up that amount of spots, just because of how competitive this field is. But that would be probably as high as Devin Smith could possibly get as 10th before the playoffs do start. So that's got to be the goal. If you're towards that back end, Matt Rogers, Brad Waffwell, Devin Smith, Andrew St. Cour, you want to move up. You don't have a win on the season, but if you can get that win, it can catapult you up into seventh place, and that'll be big time momentum heading into the playoffs that we are so close on, Emerson.
Absolutely, and we'll go and take a look at the schedule at that as well. But Devin, more or less, what I think drivers should be focusing on now, especially the 15 that are locked in tonight, and Andrew St. Cour will lock in if he starts next week. They have to go for stage points, like stage wins. No longer are they going, is sixth in a stage going to be good enough? If you're working on your playoff seeding, Devin, you have to get playoff points. So you have to look at winning. You have to look at winning stages. And we might see some crazy strategies tonight with the stages being 43 and 97. If we get some yellows, that could spice things up.
Yeah, it definitely could. And, I mean, that's, like you said, Emerson, getting those playoff points, getting that seeding, definitely have to make all you can of that. As we were seeing the schedule there on the screen, we're already over halfway through the entire schedule. So now we're just kind of getting to the tail end of the regular season. Only 4 races until we hit the playoffs. Emerson, Phoenix tonight, Charlotte, Bristol. That's going to be on the asphalt side. We did the dirt, Bristol, earlier in the season, and then Nashville Super Speedway to close it out. And then we hit the ground running. Very difficult first round. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely, and that's another thing. You got to work on your playoff seeding. If you're not a road course guy, oh man, round 1 is tough. I know, again, there's some drivers there on the back end of that playoff field that they need to start looking at winning some stages over the next 4 weeks. Because Daytona Road, Charlotte Roval, those are not going to be friendly to you. Milwaukee is a very tough 1-mile oval. Kind of like what we're going to see tonight, Devin. There's a little bit of curbing on the inside of Milwaukee that you can also kind of use to help you turn. But again, a very difficult round. It really doesn't get any easier to get into the playoffs with USA International, Lakeland, Florida. Talladega, very hard to control your destiny at Talladega. Darlington, that track that's dubbed as too tough to tame. Then you think, by the looks of it, it gets simpler in round 3, but it really doesn't. Devin, you and I just ran a race last night at Homestead Miami Speedway. That is a tough track to get fast. That is a difficult mile and a half. We have the Atlanta Super Speedway, North Wilkesboro to round out that round, and Richmond is the finale.
Yeah, it's a tough end of the season here, but that's the way it should be. The best of the best of this series, this Outlaws Sim Series, making it to the playoffs, you're going to have to bet the toughest of the toughest tracks. And that is exactly how this season has played out. Very difficult first round. Round 2 is pretty much wide open. I mean, we got a short track, we got a super speedway, and then we have Darlington, and then we kind of get to some traditional tracks, but it's everything not traditional. I mean, Atlanta has changed. Atlanta is now a super speedway. It runs like a miniature Daytona. It's not the same Atlanta that we went to in week 5. And then, of course, North Wilkesboro making the comeback. And then to close it out, Richmond, which is anything can happen at Richmond, a short track to close out the season. It's a short track that runs like just over a mile track, maybe more like a Nashville Super Speedway track. You can get spread out a little bit, but it's still fun, and making passes at Richmond are very difficult. So qualifying pace at Richmond to set up that championship is going to be paramount. But before we get there, we have to focus on tonight.
Absolutely. And tonight, very well said, Devin. We have practice times to look at. And let's get down to the current running order atop the practice charts. And how about it? We have Reese Schaefer top of the charts, Joshua Balliet second, Vincent Cortez third, Adrian Schumacher fourth. A lot of speed out of that Swift Racing camp, Devin.
It is. Balliet making his return to the series after a little bit of a hiatus. He was behind the scenes working as race control for a bit. So he's making his jump back into the car and showing that he really hasn't lost much pace at all after taking a little bit of a break. As we are looking at, I believe that is him right there in the SpongeBob car. Yeah, we see him. He cuts that apron, and we're going to watch into this turn here. This is the line that I prefer to run right in the center of turns 1 and 2. You can dive it off, get a good run off. You stay far away from that wall. Don't have any push off the turn. And then into this turn, turns 3 and 4, it's dive it down to the end of that pit wall. It kind of ends very abruptly. You aim for that end of the wall when you're getting into the turn. That's how I found to make up the most time and also preserve the most tire here. Actually, you see him entering a little lower in turn 1 and 2 there this time. But I love that middle lane. You can kind of run either that bottom or the middle lane in 1 and 2. That's where you're going to see your passing done, or at least the setup, and then you can try and complete it off of turn 3. But that outside lane in turn 3, because of the banking, can really get a power off run heading down to the start-finish line.
Absolutely. But I think importantly with that, Devin, is along with the speed that Swift Racing has, and granted, all of them are in the top 10, but Seth Berger and Max Service being lower on the practice charts than their teammates, that might have to be a little concerning. They're behind Jennings. They're duking it out for the top seed in the playoffs right now. Only 4 points between them, and they're both kind of struggling for speed compared to their teammates. Anyway.
Yeah, they are. I'm sure they're tinkering with some things. Maybe the setup is better for a certain type of driving style, and they have to tinker it to fit their driving style. So, I mean, these are open setups, and while they may bring a very similar setup for the entire team, everybody's driving style is different. Some guys like to push the entry a little more. Some guys are a little bit heavier footed. There's all different kind of things you can do to perfect this setup for you and your driving style. Again, like we saw, Valiette ran low through 1 and 2. I like to run the middle line through 1 and 2. So you have to kind of get the car right for that setup and how you want to drive this track and how you think can best make up time and speed and preserve those tires. So maybe they're just tinkering with it. Still a lot of fast times up on the board. Very close times, first through 10th, sure. Only 2 tenths off.
Absolutely. And with that, Devin, I do want you to kind of, take a gander at the practice times and see who you might want to maybe have a word with before we get things started here. But with that, I also have to give a shout out to our partners here at Pit.TV. Of course, Whiplash Media Sim Cams. Andrew Cardinale IV works very hard on giving us some amazing views here from every racetrack. But tonight, especially at the Phoenix Raceway, this amazing camera pack could be yours if you head over to www.pitstoptv.com. Simrat Market, of course, used to be known as Heat Wave Designs. They have today's paint schemes for a plethora of cars on the sim, and say you want to be on the track on iRacing in style. You can head over to simratmarket.com. You can get yourself a base paint scheme again for any of the cars on the sim. If you don't have time to paint a car, or you want another take on how you paint a car, whatever the case may be, head over to simratmarket.com and use promo code PSTV for a discount. And of course, permanent makeup in Cryo in Maine. You deserve the best care that money can buy. You can head over to www.permanentmakeupinmaine.com. Now, Devin, we look at the practice shots. Who did you have in mind?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of Swift Racing guys up in that top, but I'm going to go outside of that. I'm going to go with the first driver that doesn't have a win. I want to talk to Jacob Reeves. Pick his brain a little bit. We haven't talked to him in a while. Unfortunate end to his race after showing a lot of speed at Pocono last week. And we will see where his head is at coming into another tricky triangle track. Jacob Reeves, this is Devin in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, Jacob, a tough end to last week, having a little bit of a collision there with newcomer Vincent Cortez, both of your races being completed early there. Not the end that you wanted with the amount of speed that was in that car. Can we expect the same speed tonight here at Phoenix?
I owned up to it. last week. I felt pretty bad about that. I apologized to Vincent numerous times. I mean, I straight up blew the corner. I just missed my braking zone last week, and I felt bad about it. And I've caught a little bit of hate mail for it, but I owned up to it, and everybody knows I don't race like that. But Phoenix is gonna be pretty tough. I mean, it's gonna be some short track racing. I think you're gonna see some bumping and banging tonight, and I mean, we got a pretty good car. EPI hooked us up with a good setup, and we'll see what we got. Hopefully we can finish this thing and not wreck everybody.
Yeah, I mean, finishing the race is number one. You're sitting there. You're the first driver. I don't know if you know this. Yeah, you're the first driver that's sitting there in the playoff seating without a win. I know that's got to be on your brain getting in, wanting to get that win, that first win in Outlaw Sim Series, and enter into the playoffs on a high momentum building note. Is that something that you're kind of gunning for these last 4 weeks of the regular season?
For it last week, and you see what happened. But, yeah, I mean, it's been weighing on my mind. I mean, we finished second at Iowa earlier in the season, and we was real excited about that. Almost won that, and had a good one last week. And we've had some good finishes. We just got to put it all together. We just got to complete the whole race, and try not to make a lot of mistakes, and just try to capitalize on other people's misfortunes, whenever they happen. But yeah, I mean, that win's weighing. I mean, I know I'm getting close, and it's kind of eating at me a little bit, but at the same time, I still got to understand, I don't want to. I mean, I know I got a good, comfortable lead, over 16th for the playoffs, and I don't even know where I'm at for Rookie of the Year. Hopefully, I'm gonna win that, but I mean, yeah, it's weighing on me a little bit, but I just want to put together good, clean races and get as many points as I can getting into the playoffs.
Well, that, I guess, is the best strategy to have. Getting in 4 weeks left to get it done, my friend. First things first, got to tackle tonight. Good luck here at Phoenix. I know it's about to be qualifying. We'll go ahead and put you back down with your team so y'all can get your final thoughts together before qualifying. We appreciate your time. And, yeah, good luck tonight, driver.
All right, appreciate y'all.
And that was driver of the number 22, Jacob Reeves. He's currently sat 10th on the practice charts. The driver I want to talk to is a driver who netted himself a pretty good result at this race last season in the trucks. Devin Smith, welcome to the playoffs. Should you, make the green flag in about 12-14 minutes time.
Knock on wood, as long as power doesn't go out, we'll be good.
I think even then, I think you'll be credited with at least the start points.
Okay.
But even then, now you're looking at the playoffs, right? A track you've had a little bit of success with. Granted, that was part of some strategy that could be a factor tonight, by the way. How are you approaching tonight and the next 3 races, knowing that you have to start working on your playoff seeding for a very difficult first round?
I'm not even worried about playoff seeding. Usually I'm good at road courses. These cars haven't been kind to me, obviously. If you look at all my stats this season, they've been junk, except for like 2 starts maybe. But road courses I have a good feeling with, especially Daytona and the Roval. We did those, last year in the trucks. Obviously this cars is a completely different animal. More horsepower, less tire, so it's going to make it really tricky to get the power down, as I'm sure if you guys tuned in to me at any time at Laguna Seca, you would have probably saw me spinning, which is unfortunate. But I think I still netted a top 10, so I'm happy about that. And Milwaukee, I love Milwaukee. Whether or not I'll find the speed, hopefully I will, but first round is looking gorgeous for me.
Well, you love to hear it, Fed. A very optimistic Devin Smith, who, about 12 minutes time should lock himself into the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs. Real quick, Devin, how do you feel about your chances tonight?
Not looking good. We're in, 17th, I think, somewhere around there. The 5 was a quali setup. I'm looking about a 0.7 right now. I don't know. I hope and assume the 3s and 2s are all qualies, because if they're in race trim, holy crap. But hopefully we do pretty well tonight. The only really tricky part on this track is off of 2. Car gets a little tail happy there. So there might be some big crashes off of there on the backstretch. In the dog leg, weirdly enough, if you hit it wrong and or right, the car's gonna spin out on you. So I'd keep an eye out on those 2 corners for the action tonight. But other than that, I think we have a good car tonight. Pretty stable. Pretty fast as well, I'd think. I'd like to think, anyways. At least for my driving capabilities with this car. So should be a good one tonight.
Right on. Well, Devin, congratulations on making it to this point of the season. Best luck to you in the coming weeks. And hopefully we'll talk to you at least sometime here and maybe even tonight.
Thank you. Have a good one, boys.
Driver of the number 95, Devin Smith, the current 16th seed in the playoffs, Devin. Qualifying is underway. Let's get down to the track. And let's get to it. Right here we have the driver who's currently second in the point standing, Seth Berger, who has just set the fastest time.
Yeah, and he's a 2 there. We did see a 1 pop out at the very end of practice there by the number 17, Reese Schaefer. So looking to see what he can do when he gets on track. But a lot of those Swift Racing guys are on the track, and they're going really fast right now. So we're looking here at Seth. He's going to set up this final one. Yep, he's going to set up this final lap here, trying to get the run off the banking down right up to that pit exit, and then right back up to the top. Really, very quick. You have to make that that commitment to do that. Round turns 1 and 2, right around that yellow line, and down the backstretch, Emerson.
Up to 5th gear into turn 3, drop it down to 4th, get down to that bottom side, wait for the car to rotate and power up off the corner. He's gonna go around.
I wonder if that'll still count.
Oh my goodness! It did count. It was half a second off. But oh goodness!
Yeah, like I said, if you're running that very fast lane there, it can kill the tires very, very quickly here. So maybe that fast lap needs to be done either on lap 2 or lap 1. I'm not sure lap 3 is going to be able to get it done. But right now it's looking pretty good for Seth Berger, sitting at the top. Schumacher right behind him. Valiette right behind him. Reeves up to 4th. And the 20 car hits the wall. They were riding with McMahon right now.
Yeah, I was going to say,
this
is a newcomer to the series, Justin McMahon. Or McMahon, yeah. They're in the 20 car. We'll hopefully get that pronunciation down right. Hopefully we get to talk to him tonight. But he goes 7th quickest right now. I don't know if he realizes he had a 3rd lap, but he'll pull it off the track there. And one of the other drivers vying for the top seed in the playoffs is the 91 of Jonathan Jennings. He's a little ways back, about 41 points back. Some work to do, and he's going to go ahead and practice that pit entry after putting that bad boy 2nd on the charts. You know what? He's going to reset. He's going to grab another timed lap, Devin.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Or actually, he's done. He's calling it quits there. So,
maybe making a setup adjustment.
Well, maybe. Could be. We could see them pop out. Plenty of time left. 6 minutes.
Certainly.
And, I mean, these times are less than 30 seconds. So, plenty of time to get a new lap out there as we're riding along with Scott Bailey. He can lock himself in tonight. He is setting some good times. He goes, Reese Schaefer to the top of the charts. I thought it was Scott Bailey for a second.
The timing there, yep.
Yeah, it was timing. I was like, oh, man, okay, we were really fast. But I just like, he did pop up in the top 10. That's interesting. But Yeah, Reese Schaefer to the top. We were expecting that. He's down to the ones again, by the way.
Absolutely flying Schaefer is. But you're right. Newcomer to the playoffs, not newcomer to the series. Scott Bailey, right now, trying to improve upon his time. He goes 10th quickest. He's on his 3rd lap now. And still waiting out to see who else will go out there and set some times. Looks like only Cortez, Borden, and Schumacher. Cortez goes 3rd. Jennings, Borden, Bailey are the ones on track right now. But Bailey on his 3rd lap to the line. Does not complete it. Yeah, he gave up. Checking with Vincent Cortez on his 3rd lap.
Yeah, a little bobble there. Looks like he's giving up that lap.
Giving up that lap. Well, Devin Smith out on a lap. Let's catch up to 95. Beautiful purple car. I was trying to get a look at it in practice, but
kind of looks like an old Nickelodeon. What's it? What was that? I can't remember the name of the show where they would slime you.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, catch the wall there. I'm trying to see if it comes around here. Bachelor Chew. I think that was that. Bachelor Chow.
Yeah, it looks like it reminds me of the old Nickelodeon logo that they used to use when they used to use like was a double or family double dare stuff like that where they would where they slime you.
Here we go. Devin Smith, his 2nd lap. Lingerfelt, Stutzman have taken to the track. Still no max service. Again, a driver. Now as soon as I say that, he has just hit the pit lane. Must be watching.
Or just waiting on the night time to get a little bit cooler.
You're right. And you know, if you were loose in practice, Devin, the night time will tighten you up.
It will with these dropping track temps down to 81 at the moment. The car should handle a lot better.
Devin Smith on a 2nd lap to the start-finish line. Comes across the line. 27.5. That'll be 13th quickest. He's got one more in him. Let's go ahead and catch up with Jeremiah Stutzman, who just went 10th quickest. And sideways as we pick him up.
Yes, it's like sideways through turn 1. We did get that mention from Jacob Reeves saying that you can, it wasn't Jacob Reeves, it was Devin Smith who said you could really slide it off of turn 2, and he was sliding it in the middle of turns 1 and 2. So, yeah, lighting those rear tires up, very good deal. Dives it way down off of the top after the line.
Aggressive hit down to the apron.
Very aggressive. He runs that middle lane through 1 and 2, down
Service
to the bottom.
2nd.
Oh, good lap time for Max there. Sutsman coming through turns 3 and 4. Now I want to keep it right on that yellow line as long as you can.
Nice straight wheel on the exit. 548. He shuts the car off. And it stays 11th.
Yeah, some very fast times. I mean, if you look up at the top of this this chart here, I mean, Swift Racing, good gracious. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, they're dominating the top 10. That setup really looking good for those cars tonight. Yeah, Max Service right along here. Again, he's going to try to take another one.
It's so all close. The way down there.
So close to that wall.
4th gear, throw it in there. Try to get that baby to rotate.
Yeah, that's good rotation through 1 and 2. Good line. I like that line through 1 and 2. See if it pays off in speed, though. Down to the bottom in 3 and 4. Oh, it looks like he hit the apron.
Oh, that might be. That does not improve. No, it did improve, but not pull.
Yeah, I think he clipped the apron a little bit in 3 and 4, and it may have cost him just a little bit. I'm not sure it cost him half a tenth, but hit the barrier there.
He did gain half a tenth on that attempt.
Yeah, he gained a tenth of it. I don't know if he didn't clip that apron there in 3 and 4, if he would have picked up the remainder to get pole. But very good pole a lap. We still got a little bit of time for someone to set a lap. I don't think
about a minute.
are out.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see anyone else. Coming out what that does mean, though, Devin, is Reese is atop of a timing sheet.
Yes, sir. Reese Schaefer coming out again. It looks like he is going to. I'm just waiting here just for another couple of seconds, and no one's on the track, so no one's going to be a 7 another time. Reese Schaefer is going to be tonight's Pratt Talon Stone Pole Award winner. Pratt Talon Stone doing business for Central Vermont since 2005. Congratulations to Reese Schaefer for winning tonight's Pratt Talon Stone Pratt's Tile and Stone Award. A lot of consonants and everything in there, but congratulations, Reese. That pole position is paramount here at Phoenix. He's going to be able to get the best start, get down to that bottom, and really control this thing from the get-go.
And as the session will conclude there, Devin, it's time to get down to the starting grid for tonight's race. And just trying to get down there. Here we go. And we will go ahead and find our pole sitter driver, number 17, Reese Schaefer. There he is, the Pratt Talon Stone Pole Award winner, Reese Schaefer. He has teammate Max Service to his outside there to make up the front row. Row 2, the 77 of Seth Berger, the 23 of Vincent Cortez. Row number 3, it'll be the 91 of Jonathan Jennings, the 82 of Adrian Schumacher. Row 4, the 7 of Joshua Balliette, the 22 of Jacob Reeves. Row number 5, the 93 of Kevin Powell, the 12 of Andrew St. Coeur.
Yeah, then row 6 is going to see Kyle Lingerfeld to his outside, Jeremiah Stutzman. Row number 7 is going to see Justin McMahon. We will get that correct. And to his outside, Scott Bailey. Row number 8 is going to see Joshua Fox, who had a great run at Pocono as well. And to his outside, Devin Smith, who's looking to have a good run tonight as he's trying to make up positions in the playoffs. Row number 9, Matt Setzer on the inside. To his outside, Sam Borden. And then row number 10 is going to be Daniel Molnix in the 44. And to his outside, another playoff driver, Matt Rogers.
Row 11 will find the 33 of James Gill, the 31 of Brad Boffo, the B&G Motorsports teammates. Having a little trouble there in qualifying. We'll see if they can improve in the race. And the final row of the grid, the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick, the 56 of Adam Gardner will round out our 24-car grid for tonight's race. Devin, let's go ahead and get down to the weather. Very windy. You see it's dropping down in the mile per hour right now, but it was at 14 miles an hour out of the east. Track very cool, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. The track is going to be tight. The wind is not going to help any factors. What do you make of these track conditions?
That wind actually might help you getting into turn 3.
Maybe, you're right.
Break a little later. Coming in from the east, that is where turn 3, you're going into. You're actually going west in turn 3. So that headwind could help you out a lot. But on the likewise, entering turn 1 where it can be very loose, it might make that condition a lot worse as we get going. It's only going to be one lap here. It's a very quick lap. This pace car is going to pull off very quickly.
You're right. Once again, quick shout out to Whiplash Media SimCam, SimRat Market, and Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. The iRacing.com safety vehicle will make that left-hand turn into the safety of pit lane, but it's a long straightaway before we come around to the restart zone and the green lights. And tonight is a 215-lap race. Stages will be concluding at the completion of lap 43 and 97. Regardless of session state, the top 10 will be awarded stage points. And now, Reese Schaefer and the Outlaws Sim Series will find our way to turn number 4. And we are racing from the Jewel in the Desert. Lap 1 complete, and it is Reese Schaefer out in front, duking it out with Max Service. And he's opened up about near a half-second lead over his teammate.
Caution
on the speedway.
44.
Daniel Molnix. goes around in that pit Viper machine, and that is right front suspension damage, and that already is a competitive night over.
Yeah, a lot of sparks flying from that car. I was watching that restart. Man, you got to say these restarts of Phoenix are amazing. You can fan out 3-4 wide, trying to get narrowed down into turn one. You can almost run that apron. A lot of people like to call it Kyle Busch line, but yeah, coming off of turn 4, looks like the 5 and the 44 possibly when they try to cut the. He clipped the apron.
Yeah, he just got loose, coming back up off the dog leg, or from under.
Yep.
Huge impact to that right
Big
side.
Hit. And also in that was the 96, Matt Rogers.
For the most part, Devin, that was self-inflicted, and you heard it all right there in those pre-race interviews, Devin, about watching yourself on that dog leg. We're going to ride on board here with Daniel Molnix.
Yeah, so you'll see what happens here. I've run quite a few races here in this car. If you get right on that apron, put your left side on that yellow line, it will upset the car so bad, and it just goes around on you. There's nothing really you can do. And it looks like that's the hit to the 96 there is what launched him back up the track. It looked like he almost had it saved.
Yeah, it's just hard to do when you're in the middle of the pack there. Matt Rogers can also take him to the pit lane for some repairs. Let's ride on board with the 96.
I just think there's nowhere Matt Rogers could go here.
Right. So you're right. He actually didn't even go under the yellow line. He just clipped the yellow line. Oh, no. Matt Rogers also got sideways. Oh, and big hit to the rear end of the 44. 44 eats the outside wall, and Matt Rogers does also have some damage as well. Let's see. Was there any significant damage on the 96? He's still in the pit lane.
Yeah, I apologize there. That was I did not realize that he had got that loose up on the top side. Again, that dog leg, man, it can be so tricky in this car with the flat bottom. It can really upset the car if you hit it wrong. Also, with the amount of power that this car has, if you try to power it off the top side of that, you can do a very similar thing. You kind of overlook that dog leg here, but yeah, it is a very tricky turn.
Very difficult.
It's not really a turn.
It's not really a turn, but it is definitely a feature of this flat 1 mile and wide fast short track here in Avondale, Arizona, the Phoenix Raceway, proving treacherous to Daniel Molnix, Matt Rogers on the opening sequence of corners, just concluding the first lap of racing action. So we're going to get back to it here with our first restart of the race. Max Service on the outside, Reese Schaefer on the inside. Schaefer, the race leader in the control car for this restarts. And the restart zone isn't able, Devin, so there is no chance of anybody doing any funny stuff down the back straightaway. So here we go. Reese Schaefer into the restart zone, and green flag is back in the air. First lap of the restart complete. Let's see how it goes here in the middle of the pack. Looks like, for the most part, everybody will make it through in one piece. Matt Rogers returns to the race 2 laps down, but still in the race and very much can get back into this race should things play out in his favor. Seth Berger has gotten by teammate Max Service for second.
Yeah, he did, and Max Service got a horrible restart on that outside lane, trying to wait for the leader to fire off. With the new rules, you have to wait for that leader to fire off. There is a car going around the back.
Oh, yep, Jacob Reeves. And the second caution of the day, Jacob Reeves is in trouble. That car looks relatively clean. Can't see the right front, though, to confirm.
Yeah, it looks like a disparity of speed. Yeah, it looks good. So not too bad for Jacob Reeves. He should be able to get back in this thing. But, yeah, it looked like a disparity of speed through the dog leg. So I think that's going to be our problem here tonight is this dog leg, Emerson.
Certainly, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. This is Jacob Reeves coming down the back straightaway. He's entering turn 3. And he's running right here with the 93 of Kevin Powell. See into the dogleg. Kevin Powell drops down to here, gets sideways. So Reeves gets sideways, and Powell was not expecting Reeves to be slower through the dogleg.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a great set of eyes through that dogleg to really spot you. Guys get loose, they come off slow, they stay in the middle of the track there, then it's just mayhem trying to get there, because you're trying to get back up on the track here.
Certainly.
So you can make turn one if you're Kevin Powell. So, he see Reeves, he's like, okay, Reeves is going to be out in front of me here, and then just nowhere to go. Because, yeah, he's trying to make turn one. And, if you stay too low, you're going to completely miss this turn, or you're going to give up everything you gain through that dog leg by cutting it all back and possibly a lot more.
One more time, I want to see what Jacob Reeves does, and I think it's the exact same thing that Molnix did, and clip that yellow line. We'll be sure here with the overhead view. He's riding right behind Joshua Balliet. This was, again, he was in the 8th position, or at least Balliet is 7th, so I believe Reeves would be 8th. And hopefully the camera comes through here so we'll be able to see it. We'll catch it a little late. We'll get one more view of it, try to look a little better at what happened there to Jacob Reeves.
Yeah, the new grandstand here impeding our view.
Here we go.
Grandstand added when they redid the track. Yep, clip the yellow line.
Well, actually, it looked like it got loose, and then he clipped the yellow line. But you're right. Nonetheless, he did clip it, and that absolutely destroyed his momentum.
Yeah, you want to stay about a half a lane up on that yellow line. Be safe, be cautious about it. Don't want to have something like that to ruin your race, but we are going to get ready to go to the choose. Nobody really has pitted that's been up front and not been in trouble yet. So,
ran
yeah.
2-3 laps. I wouldn't expect many people to pit.
11 completed total. Quite a few under caution, unfortunately, but maybe we can get some green flag racing. Like I said, cautions here can come in spurts and in plenty. So when you do get these slew of cautions, big thing, cool the tires off, get them ready to go for the next one, especially if you don't pit. Also, maybe start thinking about saving some fuel here. Fuel strategy might come into play here too as well.
Why do you think I picked out this driver of the number 71, Jeremiah Stutzman? His information's not loading up, so I believe he might have started from the pit lane, which not a bad idea considering how chaotic these starts have been. But Jeremiah Stutzman, he's the only driver not involved in one of these cautions to pit. And you know how it goes. Stutzman is always thinking, he's always giving himself the opportunity for fuel strategy to become a factor later and later in these races.
Yeah, and if there's anyone who can get an abstract fuel strategy done, it is that 71 car as we're getting ready to dive the space car off again, Emerson.
Yeah, we'll do it another time. I won't say one more time because I don't think we're done with yellows. To be completely honest, honestly, might have a couple more here just to kind of weed out the cars that can't really fire off all that well. So we will see. Reese Schaefer, Max Service on the outside. Actually, Berger fell back to 4th or 3rd, or he chose the inside lane behind Schaefer. So that's intriguing. Cortez on the outside, there row 2. Jennings, Balliet, St. Coeur, and Schumacher inverse those into the restart zone. We're racing from Avondale. You know what, Devin, you're right. I saw what you were talking about there. Max Service on that outside lane. It's just such a longer way around. You can't cut that dog leg, or you can't, for sure cut that dog leg. And you saw Max immediately lose that second position to Seth Berger. So Berger, I think, intended for that inside lane on the restart, even though he gave up the spot to Max initially. Here comes Cortez on Service for 3rd.
Yeah, Vinny is very fast around here. He's won quite a few races here at Phoenix. Very comfortable with this track and also with this car. It looks like Max right on his back bumper here, but you are right, Emerson. that outside lane does not look like the place to be. You might see some guys here, if we get some more restarts, maybe choose a little bit more of that inside lane, and then maybe you can give yourself a momentum thing if you can get up there, maybe, pick up a few spots on the outside lane, possibly, but you just do not fire off there.
Got some battles back here. This is James Gilliard, who started on the second to last row of the grid. He's already up to 11th, Devin. It's been a very nice run to the field for the 33 James Gilliard, and clean to the most part. He hasn't been involved in any of the incidents, and steadily moving his way forward. The top 10 is in his windshield.
It is, but you got to be careful here. Don't want to burn the tires off. I see him running that middle lane, maybe as precaution, but you do not want to burn the tires off here too early. At Phoenix, you can by making up all these positions, running very quickly at the beginning. You really have to take care of the tires. You will fall off a cliff if you're not careful. So if you're Gilliard at this point, yes, you've made up a lot of positions, but you need to start worrying about those tires. Keep them under you, as we're looking here with the 31 as well as teammate also making up some positions, Emerson.
Right behind him, but you're right. You mentioned it. The right front tire definitely could be a factor here tonight. And definitely is looking, it's the risk versus reward, You go out there, try to gain all the spots right off the bat and risk having to drop through the field later. Or do you, play the waiting game and let these spots come back to you? Who knows? If you're an Outlaw driver, though, you typically want to play for the long game.
Yeah, Outlaw races tend to go green. We had a slow caution at the beginning. Looks like everyone is starting to get fanned out now. Only a few drivers still taking to that dog leg. The 11 car was one of those. You saw it at the bottom of the screen there. Yeah, right at this point now, we're getting pretty far along in this run. You're going to start seeing a lot of guys not opting to take to that dog leg. It actually can be slower on the long run to take the dog leg. So, yeah, we'll see that now. So, whoa, the 20 and the 31 really wash up out of turn 3 that time.
Yeah, pretty high up off the corner. And again, that also burns up some right front, by putting that pressure on the right front tire. Buffalo goes way out there. He's trying to cut down. Intriguing line, trying to preserve that right front by not turning in too hard. But instead, he is also kind of leaning on it. Schumacher has gotten by, or they're battling for 6th position. Schumacher and Balliet.
Yeah, they're battling. Schumacher takes to the apron just because that's what it's given to him. But you see it, he really doesn't gain any time now out there. He's not clear. Very close racing. Max a little slow in front of him there.
Oh, but Berger had a moment. Cortez to second. Berger sideways and in the clutches of Jennings.
Oh, yeah, we didn't catch that there, but Vinny Cortez up to second place now as we still have this battle side by side. Look at it when they come off of this here. You think with the shorter way around, the 82 would have the advantage, but look, he's actually behind as he gets back on the track, having cut that dog leg when he was ahead when he initially took it.
I want to see what happened to the 77 of Seth Berger. We're going to get a look at it here. This is Seth Berger about a lap ago, right in front of Vincent Cortez. How did he lose the second position? Well, he dives it off into the corner. He's on that seam, and it just snaps on him. The rear end comes around. Cortez goes on by. Wow.
Yeah, just lighten the rears up. Just lighten them up a little too much there, running that bottom line. That's why I say I like the middle line. It just depends on how the car's set up again. But to me, I prefer that middle line through 1 and 2 because you can dive it off, getting off of turn number 2. And it just feels better and more consistent to me. Again, personal preference and how that car is set up for the run. You can see Vinny, he kind of runs that middle lane entering, and then he dives it to the yellow line getting off. Good line, I think, there from Cortez, and he's made up quite a bit of positions. But still, Reese Schaefer leads this thing.
You're right, Schaefer. He's opening up about a 1.5 second advantage over more than that. I wonder if he's opening up maybe too big of a lead. Maybe he is putting some stress on that right front tire. But again, Reese Schaefer, Vincent Cortez has won here in other leagues. So 2 very good drivers at the front of this field, and shouldn't discredit them whatsoever. Look at this pack back here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were 3 wide going through the dog leg there. 22.
Here you go, Devin. Gilliard's falling back.
Yeah, Gilliard falling back. Like I said, I thought he was burning him up too much. He can't. He's having trouble getting in the 3. Loose there. Oh, he's got the wall. Yeah, that's exactly what I was fearing. The 33 burning his tires up too much on the early run, making up all his positions, and now the car just will not turn. You can see it. He's having to run way up to the wall. It just will not turn when he gets into these into turn 1 or turn 3.
Yeah, that looks like more he burnt up the rear tires than he has the right front, which again still is no bueno. You know, he's definitely falling backwards to the field.
Yeah, and you can tell that it's the rear tires by. Oh my gosh, a big hit!
Goodness,
it's not turning at all.
Something is massively wrong for James Gilliard.
I think Emerson, there's a lot of rear brake, and maybe he has that brakes really set to the rear tires, and so when he puts the brakes on, the rears are locking up on him possibly. We'll have to ride along here. Let's see if he brakes hard getting into this turn. Brakes a little late, and yeah, you can see it. The car's just not agreeing with him, and it's sliding up the track. The rears are not wanting to brake like they should. So he is lighting up the rear, getting off the turns by putting the power on, and he's lighting up the rears getting into the turn because those rears look like they're locking up on him. And they don't lock up the same as they did in the Gen 6 car. So big note there.
Well, Devin, while we monitor this, I do also want to look at what has happened here. Cortez has halved the gap that Reese Schaefer just had last time we updated it.
Yeah, we knew Cortez would be fast, and he is reeling in a race leader. But likewise, Jonathan Jennings, right behind, has kept pace with Vincent Cortez. So maybe you're right, Emerson. Maybe the 17's burning his tires off a little much on this first run. And that 23 and 91 have kind of been preserving and slowly making their way to the field to get up to him. I mean, it's coming down a lot here. You can see it right there in that one turn alone. They gained almost 2 tenths.
Still want to keep tabs on what's going on back here as well. A lot is going on back here. We are all packed up. But you're right. If we had that AWS graphic that would say striking distance for Cortez, it's very... Oh, Cortez had a moment. As I say that, he loses second to Jonathan Jennings.
Yeah, maybe that striking distance is
And we have a car around on the front straightaway. Matthew Setzer.
Ooh, I'm not sure what happened there. That's kind of an awkward position off of turn number 4.
Honestly, it looks like a point where he might have just solo spun, and I think going back on this replay, that might be the case as well. We'll see here.
Yeah, we'll take a look here on the inside.
It snapped him on entry.
Sideways. Yeah.
Sideways on entry.
And he's trying to keep the power up to stay with Jeremiah Stutzman there, and it just was not having it. Looks like these drivers have a lot of rear brake in these cars tonight. That rear end is not happy in some of these race cars.
Here we go. Battle for the lead. We're coming to it. Schaefer, Jennings. Schaefer at the line, but it looks like Jennings will take the spot, and he does take the spot, entering turn 1 move. But number 91, Dubby Chevrolet Camaro to the race lead.
Yeah, good run from Jennings. I mean, we said it.
Oh, Matthew Setzer around right from the leaders again. And he will get out of there.
Well, that was concerning for our new leader, the 91 of Jennings. Really preserved his tires, and now he is up there. But he's cutting that dog leg almost every time exclusively. So maybe that car is set up to do that. Personally, I think that eats a little bit more of the tire than it does to stay on the track. But again, open setup. I mean, maybe that car is just set up to run that line.
These open setups that these drivers bring for the Outlaws Sim Series races truly are pieces of work, works of art. A lot of work goes into these setups to make these cars handle the way they should. As I say that, Seth Berger has lost a spot here to Andrew St. Coeur. Shouldn't discredit Andrew St. Coeur one bit. He has absolutely been on it. He does not have the same amount of starts as the drivers around him, yet he's still up there in the playoff running. Again, he has to make tonight. He's made tonight there, so he has to make one more start in the Outlaw Sim Series this season to make it into the playoffs. And currently, Devin, he's seated 10th, despite being that many starts back. He has had some amazing runs.
He has, and he's having another one tonight. A lot of speed in the late run. for that 12 machine right now. The 11 car as well gets around Berger. We can see him sliding back. He's trying to fight back on the outside here, but ultimately the car gets loose on him, trying to put the power down. A lot of cars going by Lingerfeld, the 22 of Reeves, who had an incident, but that car looks like it's fixed and still has a lot of speed in it. So maybe these Swift Racing boys were good on the short run, good short run cars, but these long runs, not so much. So they're going to have some tinkering to get that right.
Turn 4.
97.
Newcomer Sam Borden. Brad Poffo down there as well. No yellow yet. Try to see what happened.
Oh, another one around.
Oh, James Gilliard goes around as we're going to try to go to refill. My goodness.
The leaders are right behind him. They get around him okay. It looks like he reset.
So Borden looked like a self-spin. Bothwell was slow down here. Gilliard.
And we were watching the rear tires here. Yeah, it just goes around.
And Schaefer had a spin.
Schaefer's around.
Oh my goodness.
That's in the middle of the backstretch.
You know what, Devin? You mentioned about Swift Racing and short run cars. Also, like, B&G Motorsports brought a short run car. I think this is the time. Those short run cars are coughing up a little bit right here. Reese Schaefer, who was running second.
He's struggling right there.
And then just off the corner, loops it around, pounds the inside wall. That's the suspension damage. That is race over for Reese Schaefer.
Big hit there from Schaefer.
Debuting the Camry right there for him. First time he's running the Camry.
Yeah, new scheme. I like that. Vincent Cortez also showing his scheme there. That's a good-looking Toyota Camry.
So all that chaos, Devin, has brought Joshua Balliet to second.
Yeah,
Max Service to third. Seth Berger on the back end of the top 10. So as far as Max Service trying to preserve his point lead, with the stage end here in a couple of laps, lap 43 is the stage end, Devin. Max is looking to improve upon his 4-point advantage coming into today's race.
He is, and again, these are the two of the Swift Racing camp, along with Cortez. They're still kind of hanging around here, so maybe these drivers preserve their tires a little bit better. As we see Cortez being passed now by the 22. 22 looks to have a good long run, and the 12 as well, right behind them.
These two got together last week. I know there was a little bit of technical difficulties, not allowing everybody to see the full story, but they were battling it out hard, and they made contact down in the tunnel turn at Pocono, and then down into turn 1, they were racing very hard side by side, and you heard it in the previous interview. Reeves says that he just got in there too deep, missed his braking point. They both went into the outside wall. Both of them had severe suspension damage, actually walloped the outside wall, both of them did, and it was day done for them. Max Service right now holding on to 5th. St. Cor would love to get this spot within the next lap as the stage end is nearing.
Yeah, he would, and Cortez is not going to make it easy, but you can see how much he's fighting that car when he puts the power back down. So you can see a lot of closing distance. Oh, as this 91 getting around a lap car there. And
here he comes.
He's close.
Yep, down the back straightaway. And into turns 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, Jonathan Jennings is going to win stage 1 here at Phoenix. 5.5 seconds up on Joshua Balliet. Max Service, Jacob Reeves at the line. St. Cor, Lingerfeld, Cortez, Powell, Stutzman, and Bailey. Berger does not get stage points.
Wow. And the 12 and the 23 make contact in turns 3 and 4. 23 not happy about it, and you can see his car is just not handling the way he wants it to handle right now. But the 12 drove it in there deep, trying to get those stage points, and made contact with the 23. So a lot of beating and banging just to get these stage points. Who said the 12 needed them, but now he's under fire.
Well, he got the stage 1 stage points out to rethink his plan if he's working on stage 2 at the end of 97. Lingerfeld to 5th. A nice run for Lingerfeld on his return to the series. This is his 3rd start now in the Outlaw, 4th start now in the Outlaw Sim Series this season.
Yeah, and he looked good again. Those Dark Horse, the former Dark Horse Racing, I believe they're bringing it back. So Dark Horse Racing, those guys look really good at Pocono again. Another great run going tonight for that 65 up into the top 5 finally, as Kevin Powell looks to make his way up in the top 5. And he makes that pass.
Everybody gets a taste of the top 5. And Devin, I think we should have seen this coming in. Jonathan Jennings, he absolutely demolished the field at Nashville. Now I'm trying to think of the other track, because he also did it at another place as well. Jennings just is king on these short tracks. Joshua Balliet was really the season 1 driver that we thought was king on these short tracks, and he won 3 races all on short tracks in season 1. He is out here second. He was second. He just lost second to Reeves, nearly 7 seconds back, and he's good at these things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the setup. These Swift racing cars are not handling well in the rear end, getting back on the power. You see it there; it was bobbling through the dog leg. So yeah, these guys are struggling big time with this setup early here.
Yeah.
Reeves dialed in. I mean, that car's fast. He drove from the back after being nosing it into the wall. I mean, very lightly, but still nosing it into the wall, and he's driven back to second.
Can't discredit Jacob Reeves' run. Again, that is phenomenal, the run he's had through this field tonight. And to see everybody else struggling and him not, again, says a lot about the setup builder that Jacob Reeves is working with, and the driver itself, keeping that car in one piece.
Yeah, but he's got a kind of a mountain to climb here. Jennings has 6
Got
seconds
Bailey
on him.
to the pit lane.
Yeah, first take your hero to the pit lane, but yeah, Jacob Reeves has a lot of climbing to do. 6 seconds between him and Jennings. Jennings out to a comfortable lead as we're riding along with the 95 now, who has broken himself into the top 10.
And officially in the playoffs.
Officially in the playoffs. So
Yep.
he's going to look to keep that spot. He wants to get some more of those points. So make some better seating. But yeah, the 95 into the playoffs. Just in front of him, a driver who didn't make enough starts and of course doesn't have enough points.
But our Daytona
Either way,
Joshua Lane Fox again,
Yep.
getting that Daytona win. The top 8 all were missing front ends, but Joshua Lane Fox is the car to bring it across the line ahead of Max Service at the season opener. And again, it was good for him. It was his first Outlaws Sim Series win. I'm sure he is enjoying returning to the series, knowing that he has that win this season, and is looking to see if he can improve upon that tonight. Right now in 11th position, but a long race to go. Kevin Powell has just passed Joshua Balliet for 4th, and is now looking at Max Service for 3rd.
Yeah, and the Powell is another good car on the long run here. So I assume that Jennings, Reeves, and Powell will go as long as they can. While these Swift Racing guys may want to jump in here sooner or later and go and get some setups done. Maybe they are conversing about that now. These cars are not happy at all on this long run. So they got some work to do, especially as night is falling. Temperature actually remaining about the same as Vincent Cortez in the wall.
Yep. Oh, man. And is that right front suspension damage?
Yeah, he held it up there to stay out of the way of everybody.
And he will bail out. Let's see what happened to Vincent Cortez. Huge hit there. And again, he was very excited about this race, Devin. I know you weren't there in the Discord beforehand, but he's, the last time he was here, he won. And it's not going to be the case tonight.
That right rear and the right front looks mostly gone.
Massive hits. Wait, I think it's that rear braking that you're saying, the rear brake bias that these drivers have.
Yes.
It's very difficult to slow these cars down here. This is a tough track. And they're trying to counter, these drivers are trying to counter that with the brake bias.
They are, and you have to be careful. You also have to back up. You think you can carry speed because it's a little more banking in this turn, but you can't, and it'll snap on you just like that. It looks like both the rear toe link and the front toe link were gone on the 23 car with that hit. So he kept it up out of the way, dives it down, resets. He's going to have a lot of damage to fix, but yeah, big hit from the 23. One of the guys that we saw as a potential favorite coming in out early. Again, Reese Schaefer, also another potential favorite, and the pole sitter out early.
Yeah, so it just goes to show. Just survive, and you may pick up some spots. Swift Racing. looked very promising early on, and Max Service and Joshua Balliet are still in the top 5. Don't get me wrong, but when you have heavy hitters like the season 1 champion Seth Berger dropping through the running order, and a 4-time Outlaws winner Reese Schaefer, and 6-time Outlaws winner Adrian Schumacher dropping through the running order, those are some good drivers that are struggling with the race today.
Yeah, very much so. And I mean, Seth Berger, he's in danger of going a lap down to John Jennings here. John Jennings was just beside him not too long ago, and already that 77 and the rest of these Swift racing cars have fallen off that much. It's just hard to believe.
And you're right. Jacob Reeves, Kevin Powell, they're part of that camp. Powell, of course, is brothers with Jonathan Jennings. So again, they are looking, to kind of get this whole team rallied together. I'm trying to see who else they're trying to bring up with them. I guess the 11 of Scott Bailey is the lone one who was not up here, and that's probably why he pitted.
Yeah, possibly maybe trying to make a setup, maybe make it a little closer to what his teammates are doing here. They both look strong up at the front. Again, Jacob Reeves, he, I think the 91 is pitted, and the 93 is pitted.
Yep, so the brothers come on in. Jacob Reeves stays out. And this will be intriguing to see, where they come out. Of course, I'm thinking, I was with you, Devin. I thought they were going to go the longest.
I mean, you have the long run speed. I wouldn't see why, but unless this is a strategy call, we are on lap 60. The stage 2 is coming up in about 30 laps.
So we're on lap 60, Devin. So you go 60 laps every run at 60, 120, 180, and 35 at the end. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the payoff is here.
I'm not sure here. I mean, this seems like more of a
and Reeves is in as well.
2.
Yeah, so maybe they're just trying to cover off the stage.
Yeah, cover off any potential cautions that may come with the stage being up at the front.
Here's Reeves in the box.
We'll also have to watch for pit road penalties here. This could be it's very tempting to cut that turn that's in pit lane. Of course, in the Outlaws Sim Series, you must stay all the way to the right until it's time to pit. So, just watch for those pit road penalties, entering too fast, also cutting that turn, trying to get any advantage you can. As we ride along now with Jeremiah Stutzman, the guy who is the best at saving.
This is a battle for the lead right here.
Anything. And this is the lead. Max Service has taken over. Balliet right behind him, Stutzman right behind both of them.
You're right, and all three of these guys, they're all, trying to make it. Stutzman, has the most fuel out of these guys. So Stutzman may be trying something on the long haul. Max and Balliet, I'd imagine, they're just trying to maybe catch a yellow at this point.
Yeah, I think at this point, that's exactly what they're doing, staying out this long. They're going to lose a lot of ground. You lose so much speed. And also, these Swift Racing guys are so much slower on the long run. So definitely probably looking for a yellow here. As Stutzman's trying to get around them. Can't really find it, but he dives down. Oh, he's almost lost it.
Oh, and he's got pit exit traffic too. My goodness.
That's something we didn't mention before. That dog leg, you cut it, you come right face to face with anyone who's coming off a pit
Gardner's
road.
going to be on fresh tires here, so this is going to be fun to watch here.
And we'll watch him trying to get his lap back the hard way. Of course, on fresh tires, dives it underneath.
That was a shallow turn 3.
Yep, takes it to the outside here. He's weaving back and forth around these guys.
As expected with the fresh tires, but of course you don't want to put yourself in any danger of spinning out. There's 8 drivers who have yet to pit, 9 on the lead lap. The one Jennings is also on the lead lap. And Gardner will unlap himself from 3 laps down to 2.
Yep, he's unlapping himself. Jeremiah Stutzman still trying to find his way around the 7 car. Can't seem to do it as we see Reeves there right behind these guys. He's looking to get his lap back the hard way. He's on fresh tires. Going to try and make his way around these 3. It's at 77. the 71 drove right in front of the 22 there. 22 had to get at the gas.
Oh, this isn't good. Stutzman backs out. Reeves to the inside. Powell chops Stutzman's nose. They're catching up on a very slow Max service. Oh, goodness. This is intense, watching these guys kind of slice and dice their way through the leaders. They were the leaders, to be fair. Reeves and Powell second and third. But slicing and dicing their way through the new leaders.
Yeah, they are. I mean, these fresh tires, it feels so good, but any wrong maneuver on, fresh tires, cold tires, can be detrimental to you. Not only your race, but people around you possibly. But good navigating there from all drivers, able to keep it clean and slice and dice their way through. Now the 20 car trying to lap himself.
The 20 of McMahon puts himself in. Here comes the Swift boys. Valiette and Service. Stutzman stays out.
And this is what we thought would happen with Stutzman staying out here, trying to get these points led. We'll see how long that 71 will stay. I assume that this is going to be a major change possibly coming for both of these cars, the 81 and the 7. They need to make those cars better on the long run.
Something's got to change here. Let's see here. The championship points leader, Max Service, coming on in for his third service. No pun intended.
Yeah, and his teammate there, the battered 17, still on pit road.
I think his repairs are over. Yeah, so he's not returned to the track. Service down and away. Valiette as well. Stutzman is... Oh, he's coming down now. Oh, there he is. Still out here. And again, I know the time and scoring is not tracking to Stutzman right now because, well, with Stutzman start from the pit lane, it does not load in his information correctly. So at the moment, time and scoring is not tracking. But I can tell you, he has a 2-second lead over Kyle Lingerfelt and 7.5 seconds over Jonathan Jennings. And staying out still.
And that's the one we're tracking is Jonathan Jennings. He's the first one on fresh tires. Again, Jeremiah Stutzman did pit 11 laps, but
good. Max Service came out a lap down to Jonathan Jennings. That is crazy. He's gonna have to
get back around him here. Jonathan Jennings will be the leader once everybody cycles around.
To get around him.
Well, they were really fast on the short run, so I assume he would.
But then you're gonna lose it. So oh man.
Yeah, this is interesting, and his teammate, the 82, right there in front of him as well. Both of them a lap down. That is for position behind Jonathan Jennings.
If this is for position, this is for 12th. Service to the inside. I think Schumacher, recognizing, just has much pressure. Berger is in the pit lane now, and getting service. He is still down there.
And Max really catching the 91 here. Almost contact up on the tracks. We watched the 77 get off a pit lane. There he goes. He's almost 2 laps down when he comes off pit road. The 77, that is.
So here's Service unlapping himself to the theoretical race leader, Jonathan Jennings. Jennings still running 4th behind Jeremiah Stutzman, Kyle Lingerfeld, and Joshua Land Fox. He's about a second back of the Dark Horse squad, and Stutzman has 3 seconds on the Dark Horse boys.
Yeah, exactly, and Max is trying to make up what he can here. He knows that they have the short run. There's Max going around the 66 there, and 65 right up in front of him.
All the while, Jennings is trying to slice and dice his way through this, and Schumacher got the spot back. This is a lot going on. Or I'm sorry, that's Scott Bailey. I thought Schumacher got the spot.
Yeah, a lot of different strategies playing out here in the speed
Everybody
disparity.
coming together.
Yeah, all the speed disparity. I mean, it's making for some entertaining racing, but when you're in the car with this, it is anything but entertaining. It's a white knuckling and you're sweating bullets. So Max Service navigates it all. Jonathan Jennings looks to be navigating it all as well.
And Stutzman's coming to the pit lane and he's spinning.
Oh,
trying to pit from the race lead is Jeremiah Stutzman. Jennings takes the lead. We get time in the scoring, tracking back, and Stutzman is in trouble.
He lost a lot of time on that pit entry.
It's a difficult one. Anytime you get on the paint here, Devin, it is very, very slippery. It's new paint.
It is. And man, yeah, he lucky he kept it off the wall as he gets in for his service here, but man, that was scary there for Jeremiah Stutzman. Everything he was doing, according to his race and what he wants to do, could have been all gone for naught there. As we go back to the leader, Jonathan Jennings, who has re-inherited the lead.
And he's already looking to try to put a lap down on Mac's service. That is not what Max wanted to see. Was to see momentum shift back into Jennings' favor so early.
Yep, and then the Swift Racing guys, that's the 82 finally gets his lap back. So those three right in front of him, all up at the front at one point in time, but now they are all in danger of going a lap down. All of them have unlapped themselves, but again, those Swift Racing cars just do not look hooked up on the long run. So how much longer until the 91 catches them back up?
I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully long enough for us to go ahead and step aside and rejoin you on the far side of this Pit Stop TV side by side.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence. Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona. Devin, it is nighttime. The lights are on, and the action is high. Jonathan Jennings is your race leader and has absolutely been dominant since he took that race lead. Stage 2 will conclude at the conclusion of 97, and I think unless something happens between now and then, that one looks to be going in the direction of Jonathan Jennings.
Yeah, the only thing that can throw this off now is an untimely caution. The field pretty spread out. There's a few small battles here and there, mainly on tire disparity. Some guys choosing to pit a lot earlier than other drivers. Two drivers who've yet to pit. Joshua Fox there in the 4th position and Devin Smith in the 5th position. They've run 85 laps, now 86 laps. All of them without pitting. So, man, they're really stretching this field, trying to make it to the end of the stage possibly. But I don't know if they will or not. It's going to be close. and everybody else playing fuel strategies of their own. The 91 and 93 pitting early along with the 22, and then the Swift Racing drivers, Valiette, Service, Schumacher, Berger pitting pretty much about 10 laps after them. Was it Mayon? He pitted a little early as well. Actually, no, he pitted a little bit after. Or no, he pitted about the same time as Jennings and Powell, excuse me. And then, of course, the Dark Horse Racing fellas still out on the track.
You want to talk about old tires? Look at how much speed that Joshua Land Fox has to scrub off to make this turn.
It is just
90 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's not turning at all. But the back end does not. I mean, the back end looks very stable there. It's just old tires at this point. It doesn't look like what we saw the 33 car of James Gilliard doing earlier, where as soon as he put on the brake, the back end just wanted to take off from underneath of him.
If they can make it to 97, though, Devin, for Devin Smith especially, that would be a nice little haul of points that they were not expecting.
It would be, and you got to wonder, maybe, with the lack of turn, maybe they are clutching it now. I can't really hear the engine of the 66. So they're not clutching. Maybe they're backing off or backed off early in the run, or just kind of feathering it here through these turns. But it looks like they're going to stay as long as they can. Maybe they can make it. If they can't, maybe it's a play on trying to cut the amount of the amount of pit stops down. Maybe they can make it on one less pit stop than everybody else and try and win the race that way. So different strategies being played out here.
And again, it's not just Joshua Land Fox. It's, again, Devin Smith. Oh, look like they're coming in now, Devin.
There it is. So made it to
Devin
lap.
Smith is. Joshua Land Fox is still out there. No, Fox does not need stage points.
It was a lap 92. When he cuts, he's going to go across the line here before he gets to his box, but made it 92 laps. That's not going to be enough to make it on one stop. Unfortunately, we'd have had to go about 20 more laps to even think about feasible making it on one stop. But valiant effort, as we say that. Joshua Landfox still on the track. And I'm trying to see where he is.
Still out there. Here's Joshua Land Fox.
Yeah, he's still going.
Still running. And going strong. Can he make it to 97? He doesn't need stage points. He's a part-time driver, not competing for the championship. And here he comes.
So he makes it 93 laps. Still not going to be enough to make it on one stop.
But a valiant effort nonetheless.
Valiant effort, yes. Valiant effort. Maybe they were playing the caution. Hoping with the tire disparity something would happen. They could assume a very good position for the next run, but fortunately not to be, as they are the final drivers to pit, and we're going to restart this all over again here in another 60,
20 laps,
50, 60 laps possibly.
Well, if you're looking at when Jennings pitted.
Yeah, maybe stage, maybe right after the stage, and then, sorry about that, my mic was messing up on me. But, yeah, maybe pit right after stage and then run it long to the end of the race. That could be a strategy too.
To Joshua Land Fox, down and away, and now every driver on the track has pitted once. Jonathan Jennings, your race leader by, let's just call it 12 seconds, 11.8 seconds, okay. And has already put Adrian Schumacher 1 lap down. Service and Balliet next on the menu. And after them, it would be his own teammate and brother up the road.
Yeah, and Schumacher was one of the ones who got their lap back the hard way, and we were wondering how long it would take for those tires to fall off, and about the Swift Racing drivers, and looks like Schumacher's were the first to kind of bite that bullet as he already goes back a lap down.
For what it's worth, Balliet is lapping 0.2 of a lap quicker to Jennings, and Service 0.1 of a lap quicker. So at the moment, they still have the advantage over the 91 in terms of being lapped versus not lapped. But 1 lap to go here in stage number 2, and it's been all Jonathan Jennings so far. The only battle on track is the Swift Racing fellas. Or the only battle on the lead lap. There are still battles throughout the top 10. Service trying to get down there, and I wonder if there's maybe something where maybe Balliet gives up the point for Service. Well, that happens. Jonathan Jennings will come off of turn 4 and win stage 2. And, well, that's all we know so far.
Yeah, and here comes the second place driver around turns 3 or 4. You're going to see
There's
them
Kevin
cross the
Powell.
line now.
And Jacob Reeves.
And then we're going to have to wait a minute.
Yeah, another minute. You can also write off Stutzman in 6th, Schumacher 7th, St. Cour 8th, McMahon 9th, and Berger 10th. As Service does get the point by a large margin over Balliet. That time Berger does get stage points. But with Service in 4th, that's still 6 points more to his name. So Service now up to a 17-point lead over Berger. The thing is, how many points does Jennings close up?
Yeah, exactly. You know, how much is he's gaining, and he is gaining back on these two drivers. Balliet has fallen off a little bit. He's the next one to fall off, and it looks like Max still continue on, but again, he is starting to fall off as well. Jennings starting to catch back up to these drivers who pitted, you know, a good 10 laps after him.
You're right, Devin. Jennings now, I just said how Balliet was 0.2 of a lap faster. Balliet is now 1/10 slower.
It's just amazing how good long run speed are in that 91, this 93, and the 22. 22 and the 93 are kind of close on the track, about a second away from each other. Other than that, you can see the 22 car along with our league owner.
This is one of the battles St. Cour kind of dealt with Schumacher swiftly. Berger and McMahon going at it for 9th. Berger to 9th.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what adjustments these Swift Racing drivers made on their cars. They just still don't look right on the long run. It's falling off very quickly for all of these drivers. Stutzman gets his lap back, by the way, so he's back on the lead lap as well.
Yeah, there you go. He went out pretty long. So, yep, he did. I was gonna say, did he? Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
It just cleared him.
There's Smith. He just put himself from 2 down to 1. And then Smith did not get stage points there at the stage break, so not helping his cause too much down 16th in the playoff standings. Stutzman on the paint, and he got really slow off the corner there.
Yeah, big bobble there.
Got a battle for 8th here between the teammates. Schumacher under attack from Seth Berger. And then Berger has Andrew St. Cour out his windshield. Berger has come to life here. Let me see. What is the age of his tires? You know, he does.
He pitted about 3 laps after his teammates. I wonder if he made took a shot in the dark and made a little bit bigger of an adjustment, possibly.
He has 1 lap fresher tires in St. Cour, and he's absolutely eating him up with only 1 lap fresher.
Yeah, so maybe a big adjustment, throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks on the 77, possibly finding something that works. Definitely a lot more speed on the long run for that 77 car this time around.
You might as well try it, right? You are locked in to the playoffs with 3 wins. You're just trying to see if you can outdo your teammate, which your team right now is having a pretty stable day. So you got to do something if you're going to pass him, and that is what Berger is attempting to do anyway. Stutzman and Balliet, this battle has re-emerged, and Stutzman looks to make it look easy. Josh Fox a lap down to these guys. Goes on through, and there's Stutzman cleared to 5th.
Yeah, Stutzman, again, very fresher tires than the 7 car. He drives on by about 12 lap fresher tires there on the 71.
Yep. And before the next round of pit stops, we can look at it here. Let's take a look. Jonathan Jennings, the driver that has been out in front 58 laps now, and he's only been as low as 10th, Devin. When he came off the pit lane, he was down in 10th. He started 5th. He's only been looking forward. Jonathan Jennings has absolutely been on a tear tonight. 11.5 seconds now. That gap has dropped, albeit only 4/10, but it has dropped to brother Kevin Powell.
Yeah, and he's had to navigate traffic and always when you're navigating cars trying to put them a lap down or cars are trying to get their lap back, they're going to race the leader a lot harder than they are, second or third. So that could have something to do with it. As we said, that he's pulled it back out to 12 seconds almost again now that he has, you can see the time difference there, fast lap, previous lap, how much they're losing over the course of the run. But, so we were talking about him being, losing 4/10, he pulled it back up to 12 seconds for a second once he got clear of all the lap traffic. He's got some open road in front of him until he gets to the 7 car. Then the battle should pick up again.
How about brother Kevin Powell? Newcomer to the series. 11.5 seconds back of his brother. Also in a W machine. W4 Mustang for the number 93 machine. And a good run for him. For someone who's new to the series, he's got, to be fair, he's coming in under the impression that he is the brother of Jonathan Jennings, and I guess the best thing you can do is, if your brother's dominating, is to at least come second.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's having a great run so far. Did pit about 51 laps ago, so they pitted on lap 60 the first time around. I'm sure they're possibly going to go longer this time, I would assume, but great run from the 93 car tonight. The driver right behind him tracking him down very slowly, Jacob Reeves, another great run out of that 22 car. We talked to him before. He said he thought he had some good speed in that car. He had good speed last week, and it shows up again here. This is looking really good for Jacob Reeves entering the playoffs, where there are quite a few short tracks, and if that car can maintain this type of speed, watch out for the 22.
Certainly, and a thing to note, he's got that lap lead. He had the caution early on, Devin. He's been as low as 22nd as a result of that, but has started 8th. He barreled his way through the field. He's been as high as 2nd. He lost that spot to Kevin Powell, but is still 3rd with his teammates there at Last Chance Racing. You can see telemetry that Jacob Reeves is. You see, he's got a second, 1.2 seconds to Powell. 13 seconds to to Jonathan Jennings. Max Service is the guy in 4th. There he is. Highest running driver for Swift Racing. Not gonna lie, got a little heated with the Swift Racing boys before the race, just about the setup, and it was actually questionable if they were actually gonna have the speed to contend today. And I know they've struggled on the long run, but what it did happen was there was some speed out of it because it got pole, and they did have very good short run cars, just maybe weren't able to test out the length of their long run because of the complaints of the setup. And Stutson's actually going to make a pass here for position, but Max Service, as he loses that spot, 22 seconds behind Jonathan Jennings, but hailing the flag out of Swift Racing.
Yeah, and at this point, it may be damage control for these drivers in Swift Racing. Just maintain what they can, as we talk about that. Seth Berger has gotten his lap back.
And the leader's on pit road.
He's on pit road, that's why.
But Jonathan Jennings has come down the pit lane. We'll do another through the field later on in the race.
This is a very interesting pit strategy for these. This 91 and 93, both of them are on pit road. They've already pitted once. It looks like they're going to have to pit another time, whereas some of these drivers are going to be able to go and pit one more time. These drivers might have to pit 2 more times.
I think they're so far ahead, I don't think it's going to really matter. But yeah, you're right. I do agree that this is an intriguing strategy.
I mean, yeah, when you have a gap like that, you can possibly make this work pretty easily. But, man, it is an interesting strategy call. You lose a lot of time on pit road. It's so slow and so long that you do lose quite a bit of time. 49 seconds, almost 50 seconds, you can see on the screen there. But Jacob Reeves takes over the point. He gets some more laps led.
All right, Jacob Reeves out here, and running pretty well, coming across the line. He's got a 7.5 second lead over Jeremiah Stutzman, and Stutzman should assume the race lead if Reeves comes in soon. I don't know how long Reeves is going to stay out compared to his teammates, but that is an option. He's 57 laps in on the stint, so I'd imagine pretty soon.
Well, he can. If he goes another 5 or 6 laps, he could possibly make it to the end here. With only pitting one more time. But we have only seen these cars up front run a maximum of 60 laps.
You're right. Jennings comes out of the pit lane, came out 7th. He is up to 6th already. He came out in 8th. Up to 6th.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so he didn't even lose a lap, it looks like, to the leader. So, yeah, he's far out front. Could possibly take that extra pit stop and be just fine. But, yeah, I think Reeves, being as far back as he wants to extend it here, make one stop, and then go to the end, possibly. We know that they can go about 93, 94 laps. So he's only got
Dark Horse boys.
Exactly. So
you do have to factor in. Well, let's see. Actually, right now, let's see how many caution laps we've had today. 7. So, say 93 minus 7, 85 or so laps.
Yep, but she can definitely make that from here. 96 to
right
go
now
at the moment.
Yeah, 95 to go this time by the stripe. So if Reeves can go 10 more laps, should be close.
Yeah, and he should be able to get that.
Jacob Reeves, there he is, 7.2 seconds, and is losing time to Jeremiah Stutzman. I don't think there's any cause for concern, because he does know he's coming into pit soon, but still Stutzman has been on a tear on this alternate strategy. Here comes Reeves.
Okay, well, here's the call here. I don't know if he can make it.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see if he gets cautions here. Maybe he can, but I mean, if you're getting cautions that late, you're probably going to want to pit for tires. Drop off is very significant. That's going to hand the lead over to the 71.
Oh, we're going to have to track manually here.
Yeah, 121 laps down. I don't think that is correct. What we mentioned it earlier. Pit lane start for Jeremiah Stutzman, so it does mess up the timing and scoring.
And Reeves missed the box. He had to put it in reverse really quickly.
Yeah, that timing and scoring messed up, but yeah, Reeves missed the box. You can see it's going to add about a second to his time.
Yeah, about half a second. Yep.
Yeah, about half a second. So he's actually 51 seconds on the pit lane coming off now. Whereas teammates were about 49 seconds, so he lost about 2 seconds through that whole ordeal. So Jeremiah Stutzman in the lead, Max Service into second.
There you can see the gap, at least from Service to Stutzman. 1.5 seconds. And Service, he's got 2.5 seconds over Berger. Jennings is already actually past Berger, so there's that. We can look back at Jennings. He's 2 seconds back of Max Service. This is wicked pace.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, I mean, he's actually putting himself, Jonathan Jennings is, on track to make this next stop work. All these other drivers are going to have to come in soon-ish. And he'll probably come in right after them and cover off any attempts. You know, with the amount of lead that he had, he can do that. So
yeah, you're
right. The lead. I mean, he's covered off everybody.
He's about 3 seconds back of the lead, less than 3 seconds, so he can take the lead. And yeah, you're right, cover off everyone.
Yeah. So with the lead he had, you know, that makes sense. Won't have to run as long. Have the freshest tires in the field, and just run away with this thing, barring any extracurricular activities that may happen. But it looks like, again, everyone is pretty spread out. A lot of drivers giving and taking at the moment, so it doesn't look too terribly off for that 91, and the strategy he is making work to perfection so far.
1 second back of Jeremiah Stutzman, and at the moment, Stutzman just trying to delay the inevitable. Jennings closing in on the fresh tires, and Stutzman still out here on. Let's see, what are we looking at? About 51 lap old tires. Yep. So 40 lap tire difference here.
Look at the closing distance.
Yeah, this is pretty much over here in the 3. And Stutzman's not gonna fight it. He understands that. And we get tracking back.
There we go. Back to normal. 91 takes the lead. He's fully in control of this race. Powell maintained about 11 seconds behind the leader. He's making his way through the field. He's next car to pass is Balliet. About a second in front of him. He should make that pretty quickly here.
Here is Powell, and there's Balliet right in front. So you can kind of see this happen. This was going to happen very quickly. Right on by Balliet. Not a whole lot he can do about it. Powell into the top 5 once again, and is very much on pace to take second, but he is about 10 seconds back of second.
Yeah, he is, and one thing that, like I was mentioning, the only thing that can kind of derail this win, that looks to be almost, you have just over or just under 100 laps to go, 86 to be exact. But the only thing that could probably derail that is a caution, just because, Max Service, Seth Berger, Adrian Schumacher,
Joshua Balliet, I think had a spin or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's on pit road. Berger slow. Berger slow as well.
Huh. Balliet came down to pit lane and he retired. So Balliet will not continue in this race any longer.
And I think Berger went to get on pit lane and may have spun out.
Oh, big damage. Left front damage for Seth Berger.
Oh.
And
that is not at all what I thought happened.
Race ending damage for Seth Berger. Try to see what happened to the 77.
Looks.
I'll catch it a little late there, but
I'm not sure what
problem
happened.
in the quad oval.
Great. It just went straight to the inside wall.
Here's Seth Berger. We're gonna watch this lap unfold. Again, this is race changing and potentially season changing for the seating at the top of the standings. Off of the corner, he catches up to Matt Rogers, heads down to the dog leg, comes back up.
The car just lost it.
Yeah,
just lost it.
Car does not agree with him, and that is left front suspension damage.
Wow.
My goodness.
So a lot of top drivers in this league having a lot of trouble with this track tonight.
You're right. Very difficult track, as we mentioned at the top of the show. Not difficult for Jonathan Jennings, again, who's made light work of tonight's field. And there he is, already opened up 7 seconds on Stutzman, 10 on Service, Powell and Reeves, soon to follow. But that's crazy. We were looking at Berger and Balliet, as the next one's to pit. And, well, they're pitted for a different reason.
Yeah, and Schumacher, one of their teammates, comes in for his pit stop now. This may be his last one. So he can go to the end from here with 80 laps to go now.
There he is, down and away for Adrian Schumacher. Stutzman's falling now down to 4th.
Yeah, Max
Service got by. Stutzman might have had an issue.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time. He was 7 seconds behind Jennings and then just dropped to 15 seconds. So he lost a lot of time. And it looks like he's struggling with that car right now.
Yeah, let's see if we can find out what happened to...
I don't see any damage on it. That's interesting.
Oh, I see what happened here. We're going to find out. This is Jeremiah Stutzman. All by himself. And he just comes into turn 1. Was he trying to pit? Oh, he just clipped the yellow line.
Ooh.
Looped it around.
Just ran around on him.
There's Service and Powell going on by. And then Powell quickly passed Service after that.
He wasn't pitting. I think he just entered too low.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Just a little too much down the paint. We've been talking about that today.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. The new paint is slippery.
Oh,
slippery when wet.
Slippery when wet. Yes, that is. Stutzman is still out here and he's still running. He's just in 4th and about to get passed by Jacob Reeves. But if Stutzman was gonna win on some wicked field strategy, that is going to severely dampen his chances.
Yeah, and he gets out of the way. Lets 22 go. 22 on much fresher tires. Having just pitted not too long ago, about 18 laps ago. So easy pass there for the 22. Looks to be a very good finish for the 91, 93, and the 22. All right up there together. 22 lost quite a bit of time. He was right behind Powell. Now he's about 8 seconds back. He chose to stay out a little bit longer than his teammates. So that is where that time disparity is. He should make up a little bit of that here over the run, though.
So, people who pit now can make it to the end. Adrian Schumacher, the first driver who can make it to the end on the current load of fuel for sure. Beyond that, we'll have to just wait and see. I'd imagine Al, Jennings, and Reeves will all come in after most of the pit cycles have cycled through. Max Service, the highest running driver without a pit stop, in 3rd. But Jonathan Jennings has actually been dominant today. He's opened up 11 seconds, and Max hasn't even pitted.
Yeah, again,
17 over Max.
Yeah, Jonathan Jennings again. He's 20 lap old tires. Max Service sitting on 74 lap old tires. So I assume Max is going to go as long as that car can go, and come out and just hope for the best on that short run speed. Can carry him to a top 3 finish. He's about to lose the top 3 to Jacob Reeves as we speak. As we're riding along Jennings here off of turn 2. That car just looks dialed in.
Certainly. I think Andrew St. Coeur on the pit lane. And we'll see here Reeves and Service. Not as easy as I'd thought for Jacob Reeves, but does make it easy there on the bottom side. And let's see if we can catch Andrew St. Coeur on the pit lane.
Ooh, big slide out of 2 there.
Big slide for Max St. Coeur. Got his pit time here. 14.5 down and away, 4 of a 12.
Another about 50 seconds on that pit stop as total from when he entered pit road to when he exited.
So I think we're out here waiting for Service, Stutzman, Fox, Smith, Lingerfelt, the 5 drivers have yet to pit. The drivers 4th through 8th have yet to pit in this race. All right, in this pit cycle.
Yeah, and everyone behind Service there, Stutzman, Fox, Smith, Lingerfelt, all went very long on their first run. So they're trying to do this on a 2-stop strategy, whereas the top 3 possibly doing this on a 3-stop strategy. So very interesting, but it looks like those top 3 have everybody covered off just with the amount of speed that they had on the long run and the amount of distance they're able to put between themselves and the other cars to make that speed as Max goes back a lap down.
Oh my goodness. Wait, so Max has hit the pit lane.
Oh, Max pit lane. There we go.
I was going to say, he was not close to going a lap down last I checked, but here he is on the pit lane.
77 laps completed for the 81. He dives it in, slides to the pit stop.
Full service for max service. And down and away he goes. 14-1. Quick stop in 48 seconds on the pit lane.
Yeah, that was the money stop. He can go to the end. You got to make it count on the final one. He definitely did. About 3 seconds, 4 seconds faster than other drivers we've seen on pit road so far.
And then there were 4, Stutzman, Fox, Smith, and Lingerfelt yet to pit. And thought Lingerfelt was pitting there. No, he's not. Stutzman is very slow. I think he's coming in now.
Yeah, he dives it down to the apron. He's coming in. Ooh, almost diving in really early.
It's been a clean day for Jeremiah Stutzman. Got himself a few laps led as well. He can make it to the end on this stop. And just trying to see what happens here. Stutzman, not a bad day for the 71 machine. Especially with the issues out of the race. You know, Balliet and McMahon, Cortez, Schaefer, Borden, Gilliard, Bothwell, Setzer, and Fitzpatrick. Rough days in Molnix.
Yeah, there's only 13 drivers left on track that are actually running at this time. Everyone else from 14th on back.
I think Seth is still trying to get the repairs completed. And Powell's back in. Powell's going to start covering off the field already.
Yeah, here we go.
And Jennings is in.
Yep, so this is the cover off. They had the time to do this. They had the speed to do this. They have 65 laps. That's going to be the longest run that either one of these drivers have had. The longest run they had before this was 60, and they were just absolutely smoking the field at that point. So covering everybody off, doing what they need to do to get this race won their way, as there goes the 22, Jacob Reeves. He takes over the lead. Again, Josh Fox right behind him, about 17 seconds behind him, and then Jennings comes off the pit lane in third, and he should assume second fairly quickly here.
Here comes Jacob Reeves down the pit lane. I got himself a couple more laps led, and the 22 machine coming to the detention of his crew. Again, what a day it's been for Jacob Reeves with the incident very early.
Yeah, and to fight his way all the way back up to second at one point. Now he's been kind of lingering around in third. Jonathan Jennings, even after pitting, is back into the lead again. So, wow, it's just domination there.
It's almost too easy for Jennings. Fox has yet to pit. I'd imagine pit stops for the Dark Horse boys would be soon at that rate. There would be little to... Well, I guess they could still try to catch a caution and improve upon their days, but it's not looking too good.
No, not too good at all for them. But, yeah, a couple of mistakes and just not... didn't look like a good car to begin with. But, well, actually it did, but then it just went really bad really quickly, so... Unfortunate,
it went really bad really quickly for everyone who isn't the overarching top three today.
Exactly. It started off well and then didn't go that way for the rest of the time. But
battle for fifth, Schumacher overtaking Lingerfelt. Schumacher back to fifth, and at the moment Schumacher hailing the flag for Swift Racing. He can make it to the end.
Yeah, Schumacher, again, the first one of that crew to pit. Max Service pitted about 17 laps after Schumacher, so Service should catch him. Only 8 cars on the lead lap. There's Lingerfelt in. And he will go a lap down right here.
Kyle Lingerfeld, again, one of those drivers who's made minimal starts this season. He won at Bristol Dirt, and again, he made a start at Eldora. Then last week returned to the series in a somewhat more full-time capacity with his run at Pocono. Not a bad run. He was able to get himself a nice little top 10 run. And tonight, looking to do a little bit more of the same in his final service of the evening in his 4th or 5th Outlaws Sim Series start of the season. A driver who made the playoffs last season is Boss Security number 65 Toyota Camry, down and away in that Raging Cajun designed livery.
He comes out just in front of Jeremiah Stutzman there, but again, Jeremiah Stutzman 1 lap down. Lingerfeld now 2 laps down. He'll have to get that lap back the hard way. Again, this should be Devin Smith and Joshua Fox, the last two who need to pit, 66 and the 95. We'll see when they decide to bring it down. 68, 66 laps respectively on those two drivers. So how long they've been out, as you see the 93 go around the 66 fairly easy. Ooh, had to dive it into the 12 there. A little aggressive move, but fresh tires, trying to get what you can get around these guys.
Yeah, Powell trying to put a lap on Andrew St. Coeur here. And he will do so successfully. So Powell in the second position has lapped up to the 9th place spot. And Devin Smith, I believe, is either coming down pit road or is in trouble. They catch 95 and or Schumacher's just passed him on pace. I think something might be amiss with that 95 though. Very off the pace there in the 3.
Yeah, I wonder if he had trouble in turn 2, just didn't have the speed down that backstretch, but yeah, very off the pace. Ooh, the back end is starting to kick out. I see that. And that's looked to be the downfall of a lot of these drivers when they put the brakes on. The back end is just not stable.
Yeah, that again, with these cars, the big thing about with the independent rear suspension is, how easy it is then to lock up the rear brakes. And again, your bias is limited to a certain range, because you're not supposed to put really any more pressure on it. But even then, very sensitive rear end, and it's costing a lot of drivers. A lot of drivers are struggling trying to get down into these corners. It feels great early on with the fresh tires. Your rear end has the grip to catch itself, but at this point, it does not. and the rear end is just hanging on for dear life with what's left of those Goodyear Eagles. Yeah,
and a fairly easy pass there from the 22 up into the top 5 again. Right. Yeah, so the 22 back into the top 5, looking to catch Adrian Schumacher, which he should do here in a few laps. Right behind him, there's quite a gaggle of cars. The 95 still slow. As we go back up to Powell and look at him running, that's a 66 yet bit. And he doesn't come this time either.
Check in with our race leader, Jonathan Jennings, doing his thing out in front of this field. And again, has already come in and covered off everyone else in this field. We are just waiting on Joshua Land Fox and Devin Smith to come on in. Everybody else can make it to the end of the field. And Matt Rogers, technically. No, but Matt Rogers' competitive night was ended early.
Yeah, and you can see on the track there the 11 seconds between Powell and Jennings. I mean, almost half a track in front of second place. Oh!
Whoa, Matt Rogers right in front of the leader was having issues there.
Yeah, dead left for the 96 off the turn. Very loose. Race car took off on him right in front of the leader.
Oh, we have the time and the opportunity. Let's see what happened to the 96 of Matt Rogers. And we'll catch up with him here. This is again right in front of Jonathan Jennings. Off the corner. Just sideways.
Just took off on him.
Good catch, and I'm sure if he had lost a little bit more control here, Jennings might have had his heart in his mouth right there.
Yeah, if he hit that inside wall, bounce back up, there is little Jennings could possibly do. But Good catch from the 96, and we continue on. Checking in with the two drivers who haven't yet to pit.
Jennings has put Devin Smith a lap down. I'd imagine they'd have to come in now.
Yeah, you got to come in now. I don't think you can't make it.
Yeah, there's no way they can make it. This is yeah, this is just kind of trying to see what they can get out of it. Maybe if a caution comes out, you can still be the first driver one lap down, get your lap back. If at the moment he's the lucky dog, but if he loses that lucky dog spot,
and Stutzman's right behind him.
Yeah, if he loses that lucky dog spot, he's got to come in. There's nothing else to fight for after he loses the lucky dog spot.
Yeah, they're approaching the end of the fuel run as well. They maybe have about 8 or 9 laps left, possibly.
Sure.
But you can see Stutzman gaining quite rapidly on the 95. So yeah, if the 95 gets past here by the 71, you got to come in. Actually, I mean, he's going to happen this lap right here. There's so much speed disparity.
I think Joshua Lane Fox has come in or has had an issue. Max Harris just blows by him easy. Devin Smith just get passed by Stutzman relatively easy as well. And Lingerfeld has unlapped himself from his teammate, Devin Smith.
He has. So, Devin Smith, he's... Watch it this time.
Not this
Still
time,
not
next time. It would make the most sense. That maybe he has to set his pit adjustments or whatever. But that Joshua Lane Fox is still out here. Still on the lead lap. Technically, is on the lead lap. Not much longer.
Yep, leader right behind him.
I think the win for Schumacher and Service would be to stay on the lead lap tonight. It's not a whole lot more they can do. The thing is, I think at this moment they have older tires than
They do.
Jennings. Max has 4 lap older tires than Jennings. And we saw what Jennings did to Max Service in terms of gap on the same age tires.
Yeah, and the 82, I mean, they're right in front of the leader, so we can look from the 66 just right up the road. That's the 82 and the 81. So Jennings is catching them quite rapidly. 66 right here is going to be going a lap down in this turn.
And he's not going to fight it. He will let it happen naturally. Jennings laps Joshua Lane Fox. And again, still the last 2 drivers to pit. Joshua Lane Fox, Devin Smith on this pit cycle. They cannot make it to the end of this race.
Both a lap down, so.
Yep, and we're looking at it. I mean, they've got to come in the next 5 to 7 laps. I don't think they can make it any longer than that anyway.
No, they're sending about 80 laps on the tires right now. Actually, 82 on Devin Smith, so he's got to come any minute.
Yeah, Devin Smith is probably sent to spot that pit entry. And, I mean, for what it's worth, it's been a great run so far, trying to salvage what he can. Maybe, gain something out of the run so far. There's now 12 cars running. Matt Rogers is in the pit lane. He could be just taking his normal service, but at the moment there's only 12 cars running.
And Matt Rogers, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't see him enter pit road, but there he is on the pit lane. It looks like he's not getting service done. I'm not sure what happened to the 96.
I think he towed in there. Yeah, we'll have to go try to find out what happened to the 96.
He did have that big moment earlier, so that car just inside wall.
Yep.
That's about the same spot he had the that bobble in front of the leader as well. Pretty much the exact same spot.
Get one more view of it. Up a little late for us. So look at it here for Matt Rogers. And the incident he had here out of turn 2. That I think has effectively ended his day, or he's called it quits after this. Just loose off the corner, bounds the inside wall, not that hard, and it backs it hard into the inside with the rear end. That'll do.
And as we say that, the 2 driver, or at least one of the drivers, yet to pit, Devin Smith on pit road.
There he is. This is live. Running down the pit lane is the 95 of Devin Smith. For his final stop of the evening.
And he'll have 38. Actually, it's going to be 36 qualifying laps to do. He's 2 laps down, possibly going to go 3 laps down right here. So pretty much to the end, it needs to be qualifying pace. Try and make up as much as he can. He's going to stay in the... Actually, he just falls out of the top 10. Scott Bailey is going to get by him. But again, fresh as tires, so get everything you can here in these last 30 or so laps. And the last car to pit will be this 66.
Joshua Land Fox, the driver waiting on to finish out this pit cycle. One of the longest pit cycles I think we've seen. The fact that Jennings and Powell and Reeves have been able to come in twice. Yep. No, he stays out.
Well, if he slowed down, they come down.
Like it. Tires are old. He just do that to make the corner.
I mean, this is an impressive run. 86 laps.
Certainly. Oh, yeah. This is... I mean... This is something else. The way you're able to extend, give yourself the opportunity for something to happen. You know, you never know what can go your way in these races. I mean, we had Joseph Causey flip in the middle of a green flag run here, season 1. So, anything can happen here.
Yeah, exactly. And looks like Max Service was lapped.
Service,
so the top 3, only the top 3 are left,
and they've already pitted. That is crazy. You're right. Yeah, Service, the lucky dog right now, and it's got
the 66 on pit road.
Yep, he's got Jeremiah Stutson behind on 3 lap fresher tires as well. So that battle for the lucky dog could become quite intriguing. But the last stop of the night, more than likely, by Joshua Land Fox. This is 33 laps to go. Coming to 32.
Yeah, there's only, like I said, there's only now there's only 12 cars left running on the circuit. Seth Berger has retired the car. Matt Rogers, big damage on his car. We showed that just a little while ago. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get back out there. So only 12 cars currently running on the circuit.
Yeah, but you know what? That being said, if you survive to this point, like Adam Gardner, 12, that's not a bad run most weeks. So again, 12 just by running the laps. That's the hard. I mean, we've seen some of the best drivers struggle with running this entire race. So it's got to be worth something to make it this far into the race.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw the Swift Racing guys who were normally up front pretty much every week. Max Service kind of carrying that banner, but he is a lap down. So
Swift Racing dominated last week.
Yes, they did.
Set the banner coming into tonight, and we see like our stage 2 winner last week, Seth Berger, this week have trouble. Balliet didn't race last week, but Schaefer and Cortez, they led a bunch of laps last week, and they both ended up having early nights tonight. We still have Schumacher and Service out of Swift Racing camp, and last week Schumacher came home 2nd, Service 4th. So there's still representation from last week. Service looking to get 2 4th places in a row at the moment, if he can hold off Jeremiah Stutzman. This would be the battle for the lucky dog between Service and Stutzman. With that being said, we'll find out more about that battle for the lucky dog on the far side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. Pit Stop TV side by side coming at you.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona. I am Emerson Arn with Devin Zimmerman alongside Vakal this evening. Ed Shearer, who's well, he's been picking up the calls lately for us here at Outlaws, was supposed to be on Vakal this evening, and he is having an internet outage in his area. So again, wishing the best for him and his family. Hopefully everything's all well. I know it's just an internet outage, but hopefully it's not any more serious than that. And yeah, hopefully we'll have Ed back with us soon. Maybe, I even heard, Devin, Ed will try to maybe make an Outlaws Sim Series start before the playoffs get coming here. And it might be intriguing who we bring up to the booth to cover that one off.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see who comes up and fills that spot as a guest commentator, to get some interesting new perspectives on this series. But, as we get back to it, Jonathan Jennings again running away with this thing. 13-second lead over his teammate and brother, Powell, there in the 93. So, yeah, I mean, he's getting really close to lapping his other teammate, Jacob Reeves, just up in front of him. Only Jacob Reeves hitting the line now. Jennings coming off of turn 4 now, so very close to lapping them with 22 laps to go.
And what a day it's been for Jonathan Jennings. Again, I know to some, this isn't the most entertaining product, but I think you have to realize that this is a hard feat to do. And the fact that this is not the first time Jennings has been able to do this season. By the way, I say, the whole, battle between Max Service and Seth Berger. What I've just realized, Devin, Max Service and Seth Berger are battling for the regular season championship. And by the way, that's going to be a nice haul of playoff points for whoever can get that. Jonathan Jennings, should he, finish the next 21 laps the way that he is right now, he will become the #1 seed because he will have the most wins on the season at 4. I mean, this is something else and a stellar performance to put on as we near the playoffs.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, to get that #1 seed, that's big. So set yourself up right for that first round, especially if you aren't as comfortable. We know Jonathan Jennings does have speed on road courses. Saw that at Canadian Tire and also a few other road courses throughout the season. So no slouch when it comes to those. So I fully expect him to do very well there. But setting yourself up for that first round is paramount, as he's just kind of letting it coast in. He's lost about a half a second to his teammate behind him, his brother, but that's not too shabby when you have a 13-second lead. So just coasting this thing out to the end. 19 laps to go now as we ride along with Kevin Powell. He crossed the line there.
Kevin Powell, yeah, he started 9th. He's up to 2nd. He's yet to lead a lap, and I'm sure he had the opportunity to lead several laps. He could have stayed out when Jennings pitted and just get even 1 lap led. For what it's worth, Powell was not competing for any points this season. He joined the series too late for him to be a factor in the title hunt. But, he could have maybe just snagged himself a lap led just to say he did so. But nonetheless, a great run for Kevin Powell. A great run for that entire organization, that with Last Chance Racing and that group, Kevin Powell, Jonathan Jennings, Jacob Reeves. It's been a stellar run tonight. and also Jacob Reeves. He's had a nice run tonight. 9 laps led, started 8th, and is now running 3rd. You see, he's about 9 seconds back of Kevin Powell, and well, he's about to be lapped by Jonathan Jennings. He's about 22.8 seconds back, and losing time to Jennings. 23 seconds back now as it flips there. But again, that not just what Jennings has done, and him on his way to taking the 4th seed in the playoffs, but the run that this team has put on today. Jennings, Powell, and Reeves, absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and what I'm looking forward to with runs like this is, I mean, you don't want to look too far ahead. It's kind of dangerous to do that, but you got to start thinking about it and be it in the back of your mind. Like, the final race is another track very similar to this Richmond, and it's a short track. These guys have come out here and dominated as a team on a short track, so that's got to be sitting in the back of your head at some point. Like, okay, if we're Swift Racing, we didn't have a great setup tonight. We need to make sure we have one for Richmond. We got to be able to compete with these guys if we want a shot at this championship.
Certainly, I think that if Jennings makes that championship 4, it's going to be hard to not pick him at Richmond if he makes it there, because it's just the run he's had today. But the other driver who's been leading the charge, and the driver who's led the regular season points lead all season long to this point, and up until tonight has been the #1 seed in the playoffs, Max Service. He is a lap behind the race leader, and he's about 10 seconds back of Jacob Reeves. Albeit 10 seconds back of Jacob Reeves is not too bad with the pace he's shown today. But Max Service, I'm sure, would like more, other than getting back-to-back 4th place finishes with last week and tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And what Max has got to be doing now is trying to keep himself just in position should anything happen in the next 13 laps to bring out a caution. He's the lucky dog. He can get back in this thing, but Jeremiah Stutzman right behind him could take that away.
And let's take a look at Jeremiah Stutzman. That is now half a second, 7/10 of a second there at the stripe. And look at Stutzman. He's led 14 laps today on staying out. Started 12th. He's been as high as 5th, which is where, or he's running 5th, which is where he's running right now. And not too shabby of a run. He is trying to chase down Max Service, who he's led 8 laps. The outside pole sitter today's led 8 laps, but right now in 4th position, trying to hang on to that lucky dog spot. That will be something we should keep in touch with as the laps wind down. And Adrian Schumacher's the last driver, 1 lap down in 6th. He is 10 seconds back of Stutzman, a lap and change back of Jonathan Jennings. He's not led laps today, but he started 6th and he's running 6th, so I guess not too bad for Adrian.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it's not the run that you want. You'd ever want to finish off the lead lap, especially if you're running in the top 10. But a short track, this is, and it's been green flag ever since those first 11 laps. We did 7 of those first 11 under caution, but since then it has been green flag the whole time. And the cars that showed up on the long run are the ones that have dominated. The Swift Racing guys very fast on the short run. But the car fell off a cliff, as did many of these other cars. One of the first ones that came to mind, we'll touch on it, very first car that we noticed was the 33 of James Gilliard. Made up a lot of positions. I think he was up to almost 7th or 8th at one point. And then we could see it under braking, that back end of the car with the independent rear suspension. Was just not agreeing with the brake bias, with how the brakes were set up. And it was just a handful getting into these turns. He couldn't make the turns at one point. Ended up wrecking, and then we saw the Swift Racing team guys start having very similar issues. The only one that looks to have a very stable has been the 91, the 93, and the 22.
Certainly. All of this has happened they're 2 laps down, but Devin Smith has come out on top of the Dark Horse Racing drivers at the moment. Joshua Lane Fox is about 1.3 back, and Lingerfeld has been sent back to 9th out of those guys. And Andrew St. Cour, the last driver inside the top 10, got about 6.3 seconds up on Scott Bailey, the last car 2 laps down, and the last car running is Adam Gardner. He is 6 laps down. He's got 3 laps back to Scott Bailey. He might have something here to unlap himself, make him 5 laps down before this race is over. But Adam, just a good race in itself, just to finish it, because like you said, Devin, drivers were struggling with their rear brakes today and not being able to even finish the job tonight. And Adam, albeit off the pace and he's lost a few laps, he's finished, which is a lot better than some of the drivers tonight can say. Yeah,
exactly. He's finished, just getting reps in. Yeah, finishing, but yeah, getting reps in, getting more laps in the car. That's it's always a positive to get more laps. Another good thing for Adam Gardner here, he's running right behind the leader. So he can see exactly what that leader's doing, where he's braking, how he's running this track, the line he's running. That can be a very beneficial help, just kind of seeing what that 91 car is doing, having dominated this whole race for the most part. Just see what they're doing, see what you're doing different. Just kind of learn, through doing, since you have, the leader right in front of you.
It'll be intriguing to see if Jennings pushes to lap Jacob Reeves or not, or just lets him sit on the lead lap just to spare him, or maybe Reeves doesn't want to do an extra lap and wants to get lapped. So we'll see here. But Jennings, an absolutely dominant day today, and is closing in on lapping 3rd place, which is huge. That again, we looked at Jennings. He's dominated the short tracks this season and looking to get his 4th win on the season. And it's just been a wicked run for the Dubby number 91 Chevrolet DL1.
Yeah, 3 laps to go now. I mean, one person who doesn't want to see the 22 lap is Max Service, just in case anything happens in the next couple of laps. He will be that lucky dog still. Jeremiah Stutzman right behind him. But
that battle's heating up.
Yeah, that battle's heating up. But if he were to lap the 22, then that kind of makes that battle all for naught. Maybe just in running order, but to get the lucky dog. But 2 laps to go. Getting close. It's going to come by quick here, Emerson.
Certainly less than 2 miles to settle it. And again, a very dominant day. Today we've seen 2 cautions for 7 total laps tonight. And can't tell you the amount of lead changes. I don't have that off the top of my head. Okay, we still have lead changes up there. 12 lead changes. Cool. But Jonathan Jennings will come off turn 4 and he'll take the white flag presented by Whiplash Media Sim Cams.
Yeah, and he comes around turns 1 and 2 for the last time. Very stable right in the middle of the track. Adam Gardner just pulls up on him. He doesn't look like he's going to pass him. He's been riding behind him the whole time. He rides behind the 91. The 22 will finish on the lead lap. He goes into 3 and 4.
Let's see, in the 4, he might give him the lap, but out of turn 4, for the 4th time this season, Jonathan Jennings will win here at Phoenix and take the number 1 seed in the playoffs.
Dominating performance for the 91. Yeah, Adam did get the lap. I don't think he wanted to drive another lap around here. So, but yeah, Jonathan Jennings, a masterful performance. This has put the entire field on notice. The short track king of the season seems to be that 91 car, and our final race again is Richmond, a short track.
So here he comes to the start-finish line with a well-deserved race victory celebration for the number 91 Dubby Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. And the celebration commences on the front straightaway here at the Jewel in the Desert. He's got his teammates all coming out here to celebrate. I'll do a nose burnout off his brother's car. Come up to congratulate Reeves and Bailey there, and we'll take off a celebratory lap around this Phoenix Raceway.
Let's see if he does one thing that I think that I would do if I would win at Phoenix. Kind of a
Yeah.
unique feature at Phoenix that we don't have at other tracks at currently. But where it is they're working on it, and that is you can actually go to Victory Lane here. So unfortunately, the lighting isn't that great. It looks like it's lit, but the car just doesn't show up as lit. So they kind of played around with it, and it looks like he is going to make that hard
Try to
left hand
find it.
turn. Oh yeah, he's got to find it here. I think it's a little further down.
Yeah, it's a little further down. Yeah, he tried to get in that entrance. He's looking for it.
There it is. That's the one.
Oh, he's still looking for it. Hey, maybe he's never done this. There
There
you
it
go. He's found it. And he'll go ahead and pull it on in up the ramp. Andrew, knowing this would very much happen, he made a camera, and he's even gonna do a little donut in Victory Lane. And there you go. I think, is he watching the broadcast to see? Look at that. Very nicely done. Let's go ahead and try to bring on up driver of the number 91, who has absolutely dominated today. And for one of the first times this season has actually legitimately parked it in Victory Lane. A well-deserved victory, Jonathan. 153 laps led. You were only as low as 10th today, and that was on the first pit cycle. You never fell outside the top 10 today. A phenomenal run, Jonathan. What do you have to say about it?
I was scared at first because the Swift guy was really fast, but that actually turned out pretty good. Didn't work on the setup a whole lot, but it's good for our team to get 1, 2, 3. So this one feels pretty good.
So, Jonathan, this is your 4th win on the season, and with that, you are also now the win leader on the season, which means at the moment entering the playoffs, you'd be the number 1 seed. What does that mean to you? With a first round, that can, Charlotte and Daytona road courses and the Milwaukee Mile. I know you're probably looking forward to actually all 3 of those tracks, but coming into that round at the moment as the top seed, how do you feel about that?
Feel good. I'm worried about later on, 3rd round. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of the New Atlanta. Anyway, that's a wild card.
Certainly. Tonight it looked like a lot of the team kind of coming together tonight. I think the well-deserved celebration on the front straightaway with the team, with yourself, Kevin, Jacob Reeves was there. He finished 3rd, and Stutzman 5th. I know Bailey was out there celebrating as well. What has the team aspect been like with you boys at Last Chance Racing, working on tonight especially, but this season?
That's been great. Few of us worked pretty close together, and we practice a ton, and it pays off.
Certainly. Now I know short tracks, at least this season, have seemed to definitely have been your thing, but did this one, was this one you kind of wanted to get a little bit more, just so you could say you parked it in Victory Lane legitimately?
Oh, most definitely. That's every league race I've done here, I've wanted to win it.
That was way too cool. We actually had cameras down there in Victory Lane as well to kind of park it in there, and a very nice job and a well-deserved moment to park it there in Victory Lane. 153 laps led. You had the opportunity to lap Jacob Reeves there at the end. I'd imagine you just kind of cut him a break there. But realistically, at the pace to lap everybody but your brother tonight, a very dominant performance And with that, congratulations on your 4th win on the season.
Thank you.
Right on. That was driver of the number 91, Jonathan Jennings, with the dominant run tonight, Devin. And let's go ahead and go through our finishing results before we get too far along into things tonight. We'll go ahead and bring them on up. And there they are, Jonathan Jennings with the race victory. Teammate and brother Kevin Powell comes across the line in second. Jacob Reeves comes home third. The last car to lead lap, Max Service would have been the lucky dog should something have happened there late. He finishes 4th, the first car 1 lap down. Jeremiah Stutzman finishes 5th, 1 lap down. Schumacher will come home 6th, 2 laps down. Joshua Lane Fox actually emerges victorious out of the dark horse battle, 7th, 2 laps down. Devin Smith 8th, and Lingerfeld 9th, both of them 2 laps down. Andrew St. Coeur nets himself another top 10 finish. They're 10th, 2 laps down.
Yeah, exactly. Then we start getting into Scott Bailey with 2 laps down in the 11th position for the 11 car. Adam Gardner sticks it out on track, finishes the race. He brings it home in 12th, 6 laps down, and then the other drivers on this list decided to call it quits. A little early, finding some unfortunate circumstances. Matt Rogers, 13th, 51 laps down. Seth Berger running into trouble, 14th, 85 laps down. Justin McMahon, 88 laps down in 15th. Josh Valiette, 88 laps down in 16th. Vincent Cortez, 162 laps down in 17th. Reese Schaefer, 178 laps down in 18th. Brad Bothwell, 179 laps down in 19th. Sam Borden, 179 laps down in 20th.
21st, we'll find James Gilliard, 180 laps down. Matthew Setzer, 22nd, 184 laps down. Seth Fitzpatrick has an early exit tonight, 23rd, 190 laps down. And Daniel Molnix rounds out the field, the running order, only completing 2 laps. Actually only completing 1 lap. Started at lap 2, 213 laps down for the incident there with Daniel Molnix. That is how the 24 drivers came across the line, Devin. And how about the beautiful cactus here at the start-finish line at Phoenix? A fantastic showing tonight, but we're not done. Post-race coverage here from the Jewel in the Desert continues on the far side of this break. Don't you go anywhere.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona. We're now into post-race coverage of round 23 of the Outlaws Sim Series race here from Phoenix and Devon. It was quite the showing tonight for those boys out at Last Chance Racing. We talked, of course, with race winner Jonathan Jennings. You're going to talk to second place finisher and his brother, Kevin Powell.
Yeah, we bring up Kevin Powell to the booth, finishing in second place. Newcomer to the series, but you brought it home. Dominating performance out of that camp that you are a part of tonight, Last Chance Racing. Talk us through the second place finish.
Oh man, it was a very long race. I'm not used to races this long, but yeah, coming into the night, we didn't know exactly what we had in practice. Looking at the lap times, we kind of felt like we were a couple tenths off. I think it was Max servicing his crew. So we was unsure. I qualified ninth. I was okay with it. And then my teammate Jacob, he finished third. He got a little loose coming through the dog leg. I didn't know that at the time, and I tapped him, sent him around. So we both had to go to the back of the pack and drove our way back up to second and third. And yeah, man, the car felt good. Felt like we had the right combination to save tires, and we kind of controlled the race. No one else did, so it was a good race overall.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all controlled the race pretty much after the cautions were done, which was around lap 11. Y'all's every single one of your cars just seemed to come to life, especially after the first 20 laps. Is that something y'all focused on as a group, just making sure that the long run was perfected over the short run?
Yeah, so we always want the long run to be better than the short run, because most races that you anticipate a lot of cautions in, they tend to go green, and most races where you think they're gonna go green, you have 15 cautions. So we always like to just set the car up for the long run. To me, the lap times in practice and stuff, that don't matter. It matters when it comes down to you're on 35 lap old tires, who's got the fastest car then.
Yeah, exactly. I can understand that sentiment as well, having the fast car on the long run, keeping the tires underneath of you. Did look like a lot of drivers were struggling with the rear end of the car tonight. Did y'all find that a struggle at all during practicing for this race? It seemed like a lot of guys, once they under braking, the rear end just wanted to step out.
No, honestly, while we were practicing and working on the car, it just seemed tight, like it had a lot of front end push to it. So we were more concerned about it getting tight as the track cooled off, but it didn't. We loosened the car up some, but I think maybe some drivers had experienced the same thing and maybe loosened the car up too much.
Yeah, that could be definitely what happened there. But again, congratulations, newcomer to the series. You get second place, and I mean, hopefully you stick around. This is a dominating performance. We'd like to see you back out here. I know you'd like to go for a win, so.
I just want to say, my brother, he won tonight, but I think I could have been battling for him had I not had to go to the back and run myself back up through the field. So.
Hey, laying down the brotherly challenge. I like it. Show back up and see if you can take another one away from him here later on.
Yes,
in the season. And we'll let you get back down to your team and celebrate the 1-2-3 finish. Appreciate you coming to the booth, and we'll see you around.
Oh yeah, thank you.
And driver of the number 93, Kevin Powell. Again, this is fourth start in the series. So it's great for him to get one of these runs in early on in his Outlaws Sim Series career. But somebody who's also been pretty impressive in their first season of their Outlaws Sim Series career is Jacob Reeves. Jacob, you led 9 laps, so you started at 8th and you come home in 3rd, but not without some drama. You had the incident early on and had to battle your way through the field, kind of dodge everybody else who was having trouble with the rear end and losing control on corner exit, and somehow, some way, you'll find yourself third on the lead lap, which not a lot of drivers can say they finished on tonight. How do you feel about your run tonight?
It was pretty good. That little incident, I apologize to Kevin. He looked at it, and I just straight up just lost it. I should have known better than to go down on that apron. We was talking in a team meeting before the race about, Jonathan was able to get it down on the apron. Everybody else was able to cut it, but for some reason or other, every time I'd go down there, I'd end up looping it. And I told him, I said, I'm not going down there on the apron. And then for some stupid reason, I decided to go down there, and then that happened. And I ended up still having about 55 seconds of damage. And I mean, I can only wonder what might have been if I wouldn't have had that damage. But I mean, it didn't really feel any different. I mean, congrats to Jonathan. I mean, he had the car to beat. I mean, there wasn't nobody gonna touch him at all. So, but I'm real happy about this third place finish. Good for last chance, get 1, 2, 3, pretty much just dominate the race. That was good. And I'm getting pretty good at these short tracks. Aside from Martinsville, that was probably the worst race I had, but I had a really good car, and it just ended unfortunate. But I can't wait to get on some more of these short tracks, and also next week at Charlotte, because I'm ready for that one.
Absolutely. Jacob, again, you're kind of solidifying yourself in the playoffs. You're the highest driver in points without a win, so I think even if you weren't, solidified in on points, or solidified in with starts, you probably would have made it in pretty well with how many points you have to the cut line. But we kind of talked to, I believe you talked to Devin in the pre-race. I'm going to be real, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you're kind of looking towards the playoffs now. You said, you even kind of said it yourself, you don't even know how you're looking at the rookie year standings. It's not really something we keep track of here, but it's cool that you have a first timer in the series that's kind of able to put successful runs together so far and get yourself into the playoffs with some pretty good standing. So to this point of the season, how do you feel you've kind of done overall this season? How do you feel you can do in the coming 13 weeks?
Well, I mean, when I'm on, I'm on. When I'm off, I'm off. I put it that way. Last week, I'm really tickled to have this run right here and bounce back from last week, because that was a heartbreaker last week. What happened in Pocono and everything, and that was just a heartbreaker for me, because I felt like I had a shot to win that, and I still feel like I might have had a shot to win tonight. But I mean, I still think Jonathan was the best. But I mean, overall this season, I'm like, just about everybody. We're all still trying to learn these cars. I mean, still trying to learn, what to do with cars, where to put the car, what to adjust if, what to adjust in certain situations. But I feel like, I've done, a real good job. Had a couple run-ins here and there, and but I can't wait for the playoffs, but I know it's just going to be survival when we get to the playoffs. It's just going to be survival that first round, and just trying to make it, to the next round. But, overall, I think I've done all right, and I'm just happy to be here.
Well, there you go. Congratulations on your third place finish tonight. Jacob, best luck to you in the coming weeks and as you prepare for your playoff run. And yeah, hopefully we'll talk to you a little bit more.
Hopefully in victory lane.
That is the goal, huh? All right.
Yes, sir, it is.
We'll see you, man. Congratulations on your podium finish, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Driver of the number 22, Kevin Powell, and looks like we've lost Jeremiah Stutson, who we were planning to speak with next. So let's see if we can bring on up point leader. See if we can maybe grab him, Devin. We'll try and see if he's in the mood for talking. He's out of your way.
Yeah, we bring up Max Service. Talking to him after a run, probably not really wanting to have, but It is a good run nonetheless with a top 4 finish. Max, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it wasn't exactly what we wanted, but I mean, I'll take it, I guess. We didn't have a great car, to be completely honest. It wasn't really. It was tight into turn 3. It was tight sometimes in the middle of 1 and 2. It was struggling for drive off of turn 2, and sometimes it was loose into 1. It really did what it wanted to.
Yeah, it just looked like over the short run, all the Swift Racing drivers were really fast, but after about 20 laps, you guys fell off a cliff. Is that kind of what y'all were seeing in practice, or was it not really on the long run side of practice at that point? Or?
Well, I knew what the setup that they ran was going to do. I ran something different. I ran exactly the same setup that I unloaded with to start this that I'd worked on. So I was a lot tighter than they were. I drove that setup for 2 laps, looked at the tire temps, and I'm like, no thank you, I am not doing this. And decided to run my tighter setup, and it paid off on the longer run. And then it hit a cliff. My right rear tire was probably going to explode if I went the full fuel run. But that didn't matter, I had drive off.
Yeah, drive off important here at Phoenix. Also, like you were talking about entry here, they're getting into all of the turns, making sure the car will rotate properly. That helps with the front tires. So we saw a lot of your teammates run into trouble, especially with the ones you were talking about running a little bit different setup. But the points lead battle, you kind of extend that regular season points lead going forward. Is that just kind of where it was tonight, damage control and keeping a hold of that points lead?
I mean, to be completely honest, I don't really care about the points lead in the regular season. Now I'm going to need some more wins to go steal the top seed in the playoffs, because I think that's a little bit more important to me. Those wins bring bonus points, and I believe the regular season championship does too, but wins mean a lot. You got to be able to win, especially with the playoff format we run here. It's not just all about points. You got to win.
Yeah, you talk about that. That was actually going to be my next question. If you're already looking ahead to the playoffs, and sounds like you are, but you're also taking a race to get wins. So thank you for answering preemptively my next question.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, overall, I mean, like you said, it wasn't a bad night, a 4th place finish. Just maintaining what you have. Going forward, it looks like some tracks a little bit more accustomed to Swift Racing and y'all's style of driving. Next race, I believe, is Charlotte. Are you looking forward to that one?
I'm hoping that one goes green, because that means I can probably finish that race. Otherwise, I can't. I love Charlotte to death. And we'll see what we bring there. But I know my way around Charlotte, and not to say anything, but I feel like I can bring a decent piece to the racetrack. Charlotte's a little bit of a basket case of a racetrack, though, so it's a little trickier to make things work around there. But I'm gonna not be here for Bristol. Real disappointed about that one. I wish I was here for that. By far one of my favorite tracks on the service. Nashville Super Speedway. To finish out the regular season, we should run pretty good there. For playoffs, different story. That's why we need the bonus points for round 1 of the playoffs. And then from there, well, we're gonna try and go win this thing.
Like the confidence going into the next week. Fortunately, you're going to miss Bristol, but like you said, get all the points you can when you can get them. So appreciate your time. We'll let you get back down, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we're gonna go see if we can get them next week. Yeah, that's all I got.
I appreciate it, Max. We'll get you back down to your team.
Thank you.
Driver of the number 81. Sorry, Max Service. Regular season point leader, but drops down to 2nd seed in the playoffs with the run tonight. And you're right. There's the ways to look at it. You get 15 playoff points if you win the regular season championship. You get 5 per race win. At the moment, if you take out the stage points and all that, it's 20 playoff points. The max is 15, and we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. It can be pretty intriguing to see where all the math plays out with the seeding heading in a couple weeks. But we still have stuff to do before we get there, Devin. We got stuff coming for us here on the channel. Tomorrow night, the North American Race League Porsche Cup cars head into their penultimate round of the season, and it's gonna be a fun one as they head to the land of the rising sun. They're heading out to the Suzuka circuit with their Porsche Cup cars. The 30-minute amateur race precedes the 50-minute Pro-Am race. You won't want to miss all that action. Tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, the MPI boys hitting up the Michigan International Speedway, Motor City, this Detroit, Indy area, Ford's backyard, GM's backyard. It's a track that manufacturers look to run well at. We'll see what the MPI boys bring as their playoffs near that Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we're back on it with the Outlaws Sim Series coverage from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Devin, nice slate of races we got coming up.
Yeah, it is. Looking forward to Suzuka Circuit, the figure 8 track there in Japan. That is a beautiful track. I really like it. And except for Sector 1. Sector 1 is not. But everywhere else of that track is absolutely wonderful. I love the turn right before the final
130R.
130R, the famous 130R. I love that turn. It's very fun to take in an F1 car. I can't imagine how much fun it is to take in a GT3. MPI in Michigan, that one is going to be interesting. Michigan, a very interesting track with this new car. And then, of course, Charlotte next week, my hometown track there in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going to be fun to watch these Outlaw Sim Series guys take to that track. And as you said, as we heard from Max Service, it looks like these Swift Racing guys are going to bring something impressive to that track, hopefully, to regain, possibly the points lead, or the area's points lead, but definitely the win total league and that #1 overall spot. And you can catch all of these actions on our social media pages there, facebook.com/pit_stop-tv, instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, twitter.com/pit-stop-tv_, and youtube.com/C/pit-stop-tv1, and of course on Twitch, twitch.tv/pit_stop_tv.
Well, Devin, it was quite the run tonight. 2 cautions very early on for us. 7 caution laps, 12 lead changes, a very long green flag race. It's kind of what we should be accustomed to in the Outlaw Sim Series. Let's be real, the new NextGen car kind of spiced things up and maybe caused for a little bit more of a chaotic start to the season. But Devin, as we kind of get the mainstays in the Outlaw Sim Series, and drivers start to figure out what they have to do to race with one another, and they learn the car more, and they learn the setups more. We're going to start to get more and more of these cleaner Outlaw Sim Series races, which is what we're kind of accustomed to, and it might have a little something like this, a very strategic long green flag race. But what are your takeaways from tonight?
Takeaways, I mentioned it during the race. Watch out for this Last Chance Racing team when we get to these short tracks. A couple that come to mind: USA Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. Also North Wilkesboro, the penultimate race, and then of course the final race at Richmond. I mean, these guys have brought setup after setup at these short tracks. They look super fast. If they make that championship race, I think I'd be sweating my boots if I'm all the other teams that are going to be looking to take that one, unless they can get on par with the setups that these guys are bringing, and just the overall ability on these short tracks. Right now, Jonathan Jennings looks untouchable.
On short tracks, he definitely does. But that'll do it all from here, from the Jewel in the Desert here at the Phoenix Race. So we're happy to have had you all here and tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Pit Stop TV, Devin Zimmerman beside me on the mic, and everybody who helps to bring all the action, like Ed Shearer, who usually is on the call with us throughout the season. Devin and Ed, they've kind of been just taking each other's shifts whenever they've needed. And then everybody, who does the work here at Pit Stop, like JP Costa, Zach Murtis, and of course, a huge shout out to Andrew Carnali IV, who again works tirelessly to continue to produce, what we need to do. These shows produce, the other broadcasts he has to produce, and and keep keep this channel running with some amazing quality broadcasts. But until then, we will see you tomorrow night for the North American Racing League Porsche Cup penultimate round of the season from Suzuka, Japan. We'll see you next Wednesday night for Outlaws Sim Series action from Charlotte.